Okay, so before the break, since we have successfully completed that offenses, penalties, and ethical aspects, the next chapter which we are going to start is appeals and revision. Very important, very practical chapter also. Why? Because tomorrow, if you want to make money in your practice, this is what is going to make you the money. Normal this routine return filing, normal audits gone. For that money, you are not. It is no longer a major revenue generating area. But if you could handle the appeals and all, good amount of money you can make, and these appeals are going to increase in the future. Definitely they will increase in the future. Why? Because today AI integration, automatic notices, appeals are going to be, n number of appeals are going to be there in the coming future. The more and more the GST department works on this AI integration and risk parameters identification, flagging of the suspicious accounts and all, more appeals are going to come, and there is a huge need for those people who can sort out those appeals. So that's what we are going to learn in this chapter, appeals and revision. See, but before we can jump into that technical discussion and all, there are few terms which we need to understand. Few terms are there which we have to become clear. So the term which we use is adjudication. There is a term, something which we use called adjudication, and other one is appeal. Sir, what is meant by adjudication? Adjudication means nothing but, if I have to put it in very simple terms, let us take one example, 74A if you take. Now initially show cause notice will be sent, no? Or if you take any other assessments also, not just section 74A, we have looked at different assessments, audit 74 we have seen. See, whenever these proceedings are required to be initiated, they will send you show cause notice. Now once you send the show cause notice, so once the department sends the show cause notice, finally order will come. If you take an example of 74A only, first they will send you the show cause notice. Thereafter you will reply. If you want, you will go and have an opportunity of being heard. It will ask you information, you will provide it. After all this process, finally order will come. This entire process we call it as adjudication. This process we call it as what? Adjudication. The moment the adjudication process will start, the moment the department, some concerned proper officer will issue the show cause notice, till the time in between that opportunity of being heard, sharing the information, going for the hearing, after all this, at ultimately order will come. That process we call it as adjudication. So finally order will come. So that authority, whoever is giving that order, that we call them as adjudicating authority. What do we call that authority as? Adjudicating authority. Basically department. In the department, some officers are there who will do that. So adjudication means the process involving issuance of the show cause notice till the time issuance of the order. That process we call it as adjudication. And the authority, whoever is issuing the show cause notice and whoever is passing that order under the GST department, we call them as adjudicating authority. So whatever it is, these people will serve the order. Like even if you remember section 74A, I have told you what is the monetary limit for issuing the show cause notice and passing of the order. Superintendent, deputy or assistant commissioner, additional or joint commissioner, like that. So these are the adjudicating authorities actually. These are the people who will issue the show cause notices and who will pass the order. Okay, you got the order. You got the order. Now either you get okay with the order. Either you get okay with the order. Okay, I have committed some violation. He has charged me the penalty amount, tax, interest, reasonable amount only. You will accept it. If you accept it, you will pay the amount and you will ignore it. If you don't accept it, what you should do? Is it binding? Is it 100% binding? Whatever order that adjudicating authority has given, is it compulsory? Is it binding on you? No, it is not binding on me. Then what I can do, sir? I can go for an appeal. I can go for an appeal. So appeal means what? You are challenging the order given by the adjudicating authority. These GST officers has passed an order asking you to, giving you some outcome. You are not happy with that order. So one option which you have is you can go for appeal. You are challenging that order given by the adjudicating authority. That we call it as appeal. So now this appeal, you will make it with some authority, no? There will be some authority who will take up this appeal, who will listen the arguments, then they will give final order, no? That authority we call them as appellate authority. That authority we call them as what? Appellate authority we call it. Okay, so first adjudicating authority will issue the adjudicating order, and if you are not happy with it, you can challenge it, and you will challenge it before appellate authority. Sir, who is that appellate authority? That appellate authority also in GST we have appeals wing is there. So let me I'm taking you into the discussion now. Sir, who will be adjudicating authority? First of all, under GST Act, who are the people who can issue the show cause notices and pass the order? Three levels we have. Either superintendents can do it, or deputy or assistant commissioner can do it, then additional or joint commissioner. So monetary limits will be there. Small amounts, superintendents will issue the show cause notice and pass the order. Medium amounts, deputy or assistant commissioner, and additional or joint commissioner, high stakes there, so they will pass the order. So now these people have given the orders. Now you want to go for appeal. You will make an appeal with an authority called appellate authority. Sir, who will be that appropriate person with whom you can go for appeal? So appeal, there will be additional commissioner appeals. There will be a person, there will be an officer, additional commissioner appeals, with him you will file the appeal. Or there will be commissioner appeals, with whom also you can file the appeal. Now if I put it in very simple terms, what will happen is, if the adjudicating order is given by superintendent or deputy or assistant commissioner, then you can go for appeal with the additional commissioner, because he is a next higher level of authority. However, if the adjudicating order itself is given by additional or joint commissioner, then you can't go to additional commissioner. They're equal authority, no? So that's why, in case if the adjudicating authority is superintendent or deputy or assistant commissioner, that means superintendent. See, this I have given it in a lower hierarchy. Superintendent lower level. After above that is deputy or assistant commissioner. Above that is additional or joint commissioner. If you remember, I have taken you through the jurisdiction hierarchy of officers previously, 151 in this miscellaneous provisions chapter. So superintendent is low authority, deputy or assistant commissioner is higher authority, additional or joint commissioner is higher authority, thereafter commissioner will be there, chief commissioner will be there, principal commissioner will be there. So like that, various authorities will be there. Now if the superintendent or deputy or assistant commissioner, if they have passed an adjudicating order, I can go to additional commissioner. But if the adjudicating order is given by additional or joint commissioner, will it be okay for me to go with additional commissioner? No. Why? Because they are equal in authority. No. So then what I will do? I will file an appeal with the commissioner appeals. Able to understand what I said here? Clear? So first adjudicating authority will come. Depending on adjudicating authority, if you wanted to go for appeal, you can go for appeal with these two people. So either you can go for additional commissioner appeals, or you can go for commissioner appeals. Okay, sir. Now appellate authority will take up the case. They will hear your arguments. They will hear department's arguments also. Thereafter order will come. This appellate authority, this commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, he will give a order. So now when the order has come from the appellate authority, that order also you are not happy. That order also you might not be happy. So let us say, for example, you directly made a appeal with commissioner appeals. You directly made an appeal with commissioner appeals. Now he, after taking up that appeal, he will listen to your arguments, he will listen to department's argument, he will consider all the facts whatever is available, and then finally he will give appellate order. That I call it as appellate order. What do I call it? Appellate order. Now this appellate order also you might not be happy. You want to challenge this appellate order also. Sir, with whom I can challenge? With whom I can challenge? You can challenge with appellate tribunal. The next authority for appealing is what? Appellate tribunal. You can take your appeal to the tribunal level. So what is that appellate tribunal under GST? We have GST 80. GST appellate tribunal is there. So you can make a further appeal to the GST appellate tribunal. You can make an appeal. Okay. Now in this GST appellate tribunal also, two benches will be there. Benches in the sense, those people who listen to who hear the cases. In Supreme Court, High Court also we have benches. So like that, in appellate tribunal, when I say appellate tribunal, I am referring to GST 80. Only one appellate tribunal we have. So here we have two benches. One is principal bench. I'm giving you first entire background. Thereafter we'll go into the chapter. I'm giving you jurisdiction, judicial system under GST. So in appellate, we will go into details later. Who is principal bench? Who will be there? All that is there in the middle. First I'm giving you entire structure for the chapter. So you will make an appeal to the GST 80. In GST 80, principal bench will be there, and also there will be state bench. Now principal bench will hear only special cases. Like under GST Act, they have told, if something is related to place of supply, that case will be heard only by principal bench. Or if it is related to anti-profiteering, we are going to learn in the miscellaneous provisions a concept called anti-profiteering. If the proceedings are related to anti-profiteering, then principal bench will take up the case. Or any other specified offences which are notified by the government, only those special hearings will be taken care by principal bench. All other offenses will be taken up by state benches. Able to understand? Listen, show some reaction. So in case if you are affected by appellate order, you can make an appeal to GST80. In GST80, two benches will be there. Bench means not a physical bench where people will sit. Bench means a committee, okay, a group of people. So there will be principal bench, there will be state bench. Principal bench will hear the cases regarding place of supply, anti-profiteering, or any other specific issues which are notified. So that will be heard by the principal bench. And all other offenses which are not notified, which are not related to place of supply, which are not related to anti-profiteering, that will be heard by the state bench. So whatever it is, here appellate tribunal also will give order. Appellate tribunal also will give order. You are not happy with that order also. You are not happy with that order also. What I can do then? What you can do is, you have two options. You go to the High Court. You go to the High Court. So now you will go to, now you have entered the judicial system now. So you go to the High Court, challenge it there. Sir, High Court order also I am not happy. Go to Supreme Court. Go to Supreme Court. That also I am not happy. Die. Thereafter you can't go anywhere. So you go to Appellate Tribunal. Thereafter you can go to High Court. Thereafter you have to go to Supreme Court. But in one case you can skip High Court and directly go to Supreme Court. The order of Appellate Tribunal, instead of going to the High Court, you can directly go to Supreme Court. In which case, sir, if the offense is heard by principal bench. If you want to go against the order of the Appellate Tribunal which is given by principal bench, then you can skip High Court. Directly you can challenge it in the High Court, the Supreme Court. Okay. Now if it is a state bench related judgment, you have to go to High Court. Thereafter only you can go to Supreme Court. Understood? Clear? So once again, what did I tell you till now? First, there will be adjudicating authority. GST officers will be there who will give you order. If you are not happy with that order, first you have to go for appeal. This I call it as first appeal. When you are going to the appellate authority means only two: additional commissioner appeals, commissioner appeals. So that I call it as first appeal. Now first appeal order will come from the adjudicating authority under GST. If you are not happy, then you can go to second appeal. Second appeal is it with whom? Second appeal is it with GST80. Thereafter also, if you are not happy, go to High Court, go to Supreme Court. However, in one case from Appellate Tribunal, directly you can go to Supreme Court, where if you want to challenge the order of the principal bench, skip the High Court, directly make an appeal for the Supreme Court. Whatever it is, this is what the overall judicial structure. Able to understand here? Clear and comfortable? Now what we are going to see is, what is the process you are required to follow if you want to make an appeal to the appellate authority? What is the process you want to follow if you want to make a second appeal to the GST Appellate Tribunal? And when you can go for High Court, when you can go for Supreme Court, and what and all formalities are there? See, we are going to mainly talk about first appeal and second appeal only. Why? Because when the moment High Court, Supreme Court we go, no, it will go to the civil and criminal proceedings. Normal law will come here. So mainly in this chapter, we are going to talk about how to make it in a detailed manner. We are going to talk about first appeal and second appeal. That means till GST80 we will discuss in a detailed manner. But that is not the end. Even we can go for appeal to the High Court also. We can go for appeal to the Supreme Court also. Regarding that, we are going to have a very limited discussion. Why? Because their normal judicial proceedings will come. Normal district court, High Court, Supreme Court related rules and regulations will come into picture. Normal laws of justice will come here. Like CPC we say. Civil proceeding code, criminal proceeding code, that proceedings are required to be followed. Since we are not a law student, we need not worry about it. For regarding that limited discussion, they will try to give it here. Okay. And one more thing. Sir, who can go for appeal? Taxpayer can go for appeal. Department also can go for appeal. Who can go for appeal? Department also can go for appeal. Okay, sir, how come department will go for appeal? See, it is not something like appeal. It is actually a quality check. Let us say one PO has passed an order, but commissioner appeals or some higher authority, like let us say for example, some superintendent has passed an order. Some adjudicating order he has passed. Now commissioner feels that might be this order is not okay. Might be this order is not okay. Sir, if the order is not okay, he is your subordinate only. No, you can take action. You can take action. See, now when I say commissioner wants to go for appeal, what do I mean by here is it's like a quality check. He's having a suspicion. Might be he might have done a wrong interpretation of law, wrong penalty he might have charged. So that suspicion he is having. It might not be a doubt. It might be ensuring whether revenue of the government has been correctly accounted for or not. Might be that PO has misinterpreted wrong provision and imposed a lower penalty there. So here interest of the government is in risk. So now what that higher officer can do is he can make an appeal. He will make a request. He will make a request, but that will be considered equal to the appeal only. Able to understand? So who can go for appeal? Who can go for appeal? The aggrieved person, that is a taxpayer or a taxable person, he can go for appeal, or even department also can go for appeal. Like here also higher officer will go for first appellate authority. Thereafter, if appellate authority also given favor judgment in favor of the taxpayer only, then he can go for GST-80. If GST-80 has also given the favor judgment in favor of aggrieved person, then department can go for appeal to High Court. If High Court is also giving judgment in favor of that aggrieved person, then they can even go to the Supreme Court. So like that, either that registered person might go for appeal, or this department can go for appeal. So did you understand the structure till here? Now, so in between one more person will come. This is one process, appeal process. Now in between one more activity will come. Just to follow carefully whatever I am saying. We will go and read the details. To understand the details in a correct manner, I am setting all this background. To understand the details in the correct manner, I am setting this background. First I am setting the entire background for the chapter, then we will go and read. So there is one thing called revisional authority. Sir, what is this revision proceedings? Let us say, for example, one adjudicating authority is there. Let us say one commissioner, one joint commissioner has taken up, let me give it in a proper structure. There is a registered person. Now this person has got notice. Thereafter, some adjudicating authority has started the proceeding. He has issued the show cause notice, and finally adjudication order is also passed. Adjudication order is also passed. Let us say, for example, he's a state level joint commissioner is there who issued the show cause notice, and proceedings have happened, and even finally order is also given. In that order, he has mentioned what is the tax amount required to be paid, interest amount required to be paid, what penalty is required to be paid. Everything has been mentioned in the order. Now this person is also not challenging it. Department is also not challenging. That adjudicating that adjudicating officer is also not challenging. No one is challenging. Both are happy. Now in GST one mechanism is there. Some other jurisdictional adjudicating officers will be there. No, he's a state level adjudicating, state level joint commissioner. Now what happened is another state's joint commissioner or another state's commissioner or CGST, central related JC or AC. So those people might take up this case. Hey, here they have given an order in another state. Let us say, for example, this judgment was given in another state. Now the officer in another state, he can take up that order for revision. He can take up that order for revision. Revision means, sir, what he will do is, if he has a suspicion that if that order was erroneously passed, or if he is having a suspicion that some important information was not considered while passing that order. So like that, if any suspicion is there, the officer of another jurisdiction will take up that order for review or revision. Able to understand? See, the GST system is very good. Implementation is bullshit, but system is very good. So here also they want to protect the revenue. So what is the protection of revenues? Might be if you are served with a notice with the state level GST officers and all, you have a good network in that state. You have a good network in that state. You paid some bribe to that state level GST officer. You paid bribe to the state level GST officer, got order in your favor. Ultimately, whatever penalty that should go to the government, that officer did not pass that penalty. Why? Because you bribed him. He used his discretion, reduced the penalty amount. So now department wants to make sure that the revenue to the government should not be lost. So now they have given this power. Now they have given this power to another jurisdictional officer. If you have any information, if you feel that so and so case has taken place, somehow they will get the information. So if they found that in another jurisdiction some officer has passed an order, and if you find that it is erroneous, or if you believe that in this order some information was not completely considered, then that another jurisdictional officer, he will pick this order for revision. And after picking for that revision, either he can confirm that order, or he can modify that order, or he can annul the order. Three things he can do. What revisional, this proceedings we call it as revision proceedings. So once this revisional authority Once they have taken up for this order for revision, adjudicating order, they will take it up for revision. Either they can confirm, okay, this order is okay only, or they can modify. When I say modify, either they can do enhancement of the recoverability or decreasing of the recoverability, whatever they can do, or even they can annul that judgment. So what do you mean by annulling that judgment? They can altogether cancel that order. They can altogether keep that order aside. So like that, anything can be done. So whatever it is, adjudicating authority is there, their order has been taken up by revisional authority, and revisional order will come. After the revisional authority has taken up for that revision, then they will finally issue that revisional order. No, now this revisional order also can be challenged. Revisional order came, adjudicating order has been taken up for revision, and revision authority will give new order. No, so now with this new order, either department might be affected or aggrieved person might not accept it. Maybe what happened is, when compared with the original order, in the revision order, the interest was increased, tax was increased, penalty was increased. So as a registered person, you are affected here. You don't want to go with the revisional authority. What you should do? Go for appeal. Or let us say, when compared with the original order, in the revision order, the tax, interest, penalty has been reduced. Here department will be affected. What they can do? They can go for appeal. In case if you want to go for appeal against the revisional order, directly go to GST-AT. Here you should not come to appellate authority. Here you should not come to appellate authority. That means you should not come to commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. Directly go to GST-AT. The proceeding will start from GST-AT. I hope you are able to get it. If you want to challenge appellate authorities order, if you want to challenge adjudicating authorities order, first step is what? Go to appellate authority, that is commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. Then you go to GST-AT, then you go to High Court, then you go to Supreme Court. If you want to challenge the revisional authorities order, directly go to GST-AT, challenge it in GST-AT, and thereafter from GST-AT High Court, thereafter you can go to Supreme Court. Okay, so revisional authorities order can't be challenged before appellate authority. You can't come to commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, directly go to GST-AT. Able to understand what I am trying to say here? Okay, so two appeals can come here. One is appeal regarding adjudicating authority, other one is appeal from the revision authority. So appeal can come from any point. So if you come back to the summary here, I will explain, don't worry, I am setting the flow and all. I will explain to you in a detailed manner. Sir, who is revisional authority? Additional or joint commissioner, principal commissioner or commissioner. They can take up the review, not of the same jurisdiction, another jurisdiction. So what they will try to say here is, in case if the main adjudicating order is passed by superintendent or deputy or assistant commissioner, those adjudicating orders can be taken up for review by additional or joint commissioner. In case if adjudicating order is passed by additional or joint commissioner, then they can be taken up for review by principal commissioner or commissioner. They can take up for review depending on the authority. Able to understand my pain and trouble? Are you all able to get it? Right. So now if you see, that's what the hierarchy I have told you. So chapter 18 of the CGST Act, appeals and provisions. First, order passed by an adjudicating authority. Sir, who is adjudicating authority? Superintendent. Thereafter, deputy or assistant commissioner, additional or joint commissioner. Not only additional or joint commissioner. So if they have passed an order, if you want to go for appeal, what you will do? You will go to the appellate authority. Who is appellate authority? Commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. There, if you are aggrieved, you will go to where? Appellate tribunal. After tribunal, High Court. Thereafter, Supreme Court. However, at one stage you can skip High Court. When? If order is passed by principal bench of the appellate tribunal, then you can skip High Court, directly go to Supreme Court. Then, of order passed by officer subordinate to revisional authority. Like, let us say, commissioner wants to take up the case. Now he can take up the case which is passed by additional or joint commissioner. So order passed by an officer subordinate to revisional authority, first they will pass revisional order. Revisional authority's order will come. Thereafter, if you see here, directly appellate tribunal has come here. Appellate authority is not coming here. So revisional authority's order has to be directly challenged in appellate tribunal, which is GSTAT, thereafter go to High Court, thereafter go to Supreme Court. Here also, if the order is passed by the principal bench of the Supreme Court, from appellate tribunal, directly you can go to the Supreme Court. You can skip the High Court. Understood? Got the clarity? Right. So let us see now. So if you are able to understand all this background, I have worked out some summaries for you. So this will sort out our discussion. These two charts alone has took me somewhere around 2.5 to 3 hours. Last night I slept at 3 a.m. sorry. Morning 3 I have slept. So now I have to finish this class and go and sleep now. That is my first target. So let us see. So appeals to the appellate authority. So only which appeals will come to appellate authority? Tell me. Revisional authority's order will come? No. Only adjudicating authority's order will come to appellate authority. So let us see. First, what will happen? Order or decision will be passed by adjudicating authority, either superintendent, additional or deputy commissioner, assistant or deputy commissioner, joint or additional commissioner, under CGST Act, SGST Act or UTGST Act. Now, any of them can be affected. Who can be affected? Either that person who is affected is aggrieved person. That means who? Taxpayer. Taxpayer is aggrieved. Taxpayer is not happy with that order. Or who also can be unhappy? Department also can be unhappy. As I have told, higher level officer might not be happy with the same jurisdiction. When I say here same jurisdiction, commissioner of the state is not happy with the order passed by the superintendent. Might be he wants a quality check. Then also he can file an appeal. Right. So first we will see if a taxpayer wants to go for appeal, what and all process he has to follow. I will link it in the material also just to follow the discussion. Sir, what is the time limit available within which I am a person, adjudicating authority has passed an order, I wanted to challenge it. What is the time limit available? You have 3 months of time. Within 3 months from what, sir? Within 3 months from the date of decision or order, from the date of communication. You will get that order? No. You will get that adjudicating authority's order? No. You will be communicated either over email or by a physical post, or it will be made available on the common portal. So whatever it is, from the date of communication of that decision or order of the adjudicating authority, within 3 months, if you want to go for appeal, you have 3 months of time. But however, if there is a valid reason, 1 month of condonation delay is permitted. 3 months, if you are able to show a sufficient cause, 1 month condonation delay they can give. 1 month extra they will permit. And so you have to file an appeal. In which form I have to file an appeal? You have to go and submit a form GST APL 01. You have to go and file GST APL 01. This either you can file it electronically, or in exceptional circumstances they will allow you to do manually also. Sir, when manually? Sometimes order might not be made available to you on common portal. Order will not be made available to you on common portal. That adjudicating authorities may not be made available on common portal, and also commissioner has notified, okay, I will accept your manual appeal also. Then you can go for manual appeal. So whatever it is, GST APL 01, aggrieved person is affected by the adjudicating authority's order, you have to go and file an appeal in form GST APL 01, either manually or electronically. Within what duration? Within 3 months from the date of communication of adjudicating order. 1 month condonation delay is permitted. But if you want to go for appeal, first you have to make the payment of all your admitted tax, interest, penalty or late fee. Sir, what is this admitted interest, tax and penalty and late fee? Let us say superintendent or JC has given an order under 74A. He has passed an order, adjudicating order he has given, where he told that you are required to pay a total of 10 lakh rupees, on which interest also you are required to pay, penalty also you are required to pay. Let us say interest he is saying 1 lakh rupees, penalty he is saying 10 lakh rupees, total 21 lakh rupees of demand he has given. Now you might not be challenging entire amount. You will admit, according to you, you are liable to pay only 5 lakh rupees of, let me put it this way, you are liable to pay, you are accepting only 4 lakh rupees. On that you will pay 40,000 rupees of interest. On that you will pay 4 lakh rupees of penalty. So you are accepting the liability up to 8 lakh 40,000. You are going for appeal. Dispute is for what? Dispute is for only 6 lakh rupees of tax, 60,000 rupees of interest and another 6 lakh rupees of penalty. So this will become my admitted tax, interest or penalty, late fee. This will become my disputed. So now what they are saying is, if you are affected, if you are not happy with the order of the adjudicating authority, yes, go for appeal to the appellate authority. But before you go for appeal, whatever liability you are accepting, pay that tax, pay that interest, pay that penalty, then only will permit you to go for the next level of appeal. Sir, not just that, in addition to that, you are also required to make some mandatory pre-deposit. If you want to go for appeal, you have to make a pre-deposit. How much, sir? 10% of disputed tax. Only tax. So disputed tax is how much? 6 lakhs. Don't consider interest and penalty. So on this 6 lakh rupees, pay 10% now. Then only they will permit the appeal. However, if you are challenging the order, wherein the order only penalty is there. If you are challenging the order where tax and all is not there, like for example, they want to impose on you penalty only under section 122(1), the tax interest will not be there, only penalty will be there. If you want to challenge the order only where penalty is payable, no tax and interest is involved there you are required to deposit 10% of the penalty. If demand involves tax, interest and penalty, in that case you have to make a mandatory pre-deposit of only 10% of tax. In case if the demand order is only asking you penalty, then you have to pre-deposit 10% of the penalty. So unless you pay all your admitted tax, interest, penalty, and also mandatory pre-deposit of 10% of tax or 10% of penalty, in case if the demand order contains only penalty, no tax and interest, if you do that, then only you can go for the appeal. Able to understand? Right. So within 3 months or 1 month from the date of communication of decision or order, you have to file an appeal in form GST APL 01. Either manually you can do or electronically you can do. And what you should do if you want to go for appeal? Number 1, first you have to pay all your admitted tax, interest, penalty, late fee, everything you pay. Mandatory pre-deposit, how much, sir? 10% of the disputed tax or penalty in case order demanding penalty without tax, subject to a maximum of 20 crores. What is the mandatory pre-deposit maximum limit? 20 crore rupees under CGST. If it IGST, equal amount of SGST also will come. If it is IGST, maximum 40 crore rupees. Let us say, for example, you are going for an appeal of 50 crore rupees of CGST disputed. How much pre-deposit you are required to make? How much pre-deposit? If you take 10%, I'm only asking you CGST. So 10%, if I calculate, 5 crores. How much you will deposit? 5 crores only. You are going for a appeal for 100 crores of disputed tax. How much you will deposit? 10%, which will come to 10 crores you have to make a deposit. You are going for 200 crores of appeal, disputed tax. How much you are required to deposit? 10%, 20. You are going for a CGST of 300 crores of appeal, 10%, which will be how much? 30, but subject to a maximum of only 20. Only 20. So they have capped the limit there. So very important point. You have to make a mandatory pre-deposit. So once you make a mandatory pre-deposit, once you pay your admitted tax, liability, penalty, late fee and all, then one provisional acknowledgement will be issued. What will be issued? One provisional acknowledgement. One provisional acknowledgement will be issued. Now what will happen? Now you have to get a final acknowledgement. This is just a provisional acknowledgement. You have to get one final acknowledgement. What is final acknowledgement? The department has accepted your application. That is final acknowledgement. Sir, when you will get that final acknowledgement? If appealed order is uploaded on the common portal, you have got an order. That adjudicating authority's order will be there, no? Against you are challenging. So if you have got it on the, if you have uploaded it on the common portal, immediately final acknowledgement also will come in GST APL 02, and date of filing appeal will be considered as date of provisional acknowledgement only. Why? Because if you have order ready, sometimes order will be made available on the common portal only. So you can simply upload that order copy on the common portal. Immediately provisional acknowledgement will be generated. Within a few minutes, final acknowledgement also will be generated. So if the final acknowledgement is also getting generated automatically, date on which a provisional acknowledgement is generated, that itself will be considered as a date of filing of appeal. Sir, why date of filing of appeal is important? Why date of filing of appeal is important? Why? Because number 1, you have to make an appeal only within 3 months. So if that date of filing of appeal is falling within then 3 months, then only your appeal will be considered. So here it is easy. In case if you are having a copy of your order that you have uploaded on the common portal, immediately final acknowledgement will get generated. Your date of filing will be the date of that provisional acknowledgement only. But when the problem will come is, order is not uploaded on the common portal. Sometimes the state officers, what they will do is, they will not give you order on the common portal. They will send it to you over email, or they will send you physical copy to your address. Then you will make an appeal, but you will not be able to upload that order copy on the common portal. Then what process they have told is, in that case you are required to share self-certified copy within 7 days of filing GST APL 01. They are giving you 7 days of time. Okay, today you are giving today you are filing APL 01, but you don't have order copy available. You have been given a physical copy. Now what they are saying, okay, today you filed APL 01, thereafter you self certify that copy and you submit it within how many days? 7 days. If you submit that within 7 days, we will consider date of provisional acknowledgement only as date of filing. We will consider date of provisional acknowledgement. Initially you submitted APL 01 and we generated the provisional acknowledgement. No, that itself will consider as date of filing of appeal. Whereas, sir, I am not submitting that self-certified statement within 7 days of filing GST APL 01, sir. Then date of submission of self-certified copy shall be considered as date of filing of the appeal. Understood? You have to remember here. So I will give you example if you want. Listen. So let us say 3 months you have to file an appeal. Okay, your 3 months is ending on 31st of December 2025. This is where it is ending. So now you have filed an appeal APL 01. You have filed, let us say on 30th of December 2025 you have filed. Provisional acknowledgement is also generated on 30th of December 2025. You have a copy. You have a copy of that order on the common portal. You uploaded that order copy on the common portal and immediately you are done it. So on the same date, even final acknowledgement is also generated. So what is date of filing of appeal? Tell me, what is date of filing of appeal? Date of provisional acknowledgement. If you have uploaded it, everything will fall on same day. So 30th of December 2025 will be my date of appeal. Is it within date? Yes. Will I consider my appeal? Yes. Let us say another case. You filed your appeal APL 01. You have filed it on 30th of December 2025. You don't have copy. You don't have the copy of the order. Then what they are telling? Within 7 days. So immediately provisional acknowledgement will generate on 30th of 25 only. Immediately will generate one provisional acknowledgement. What you do is within 7 days you submit that self-certified copy of that statement. Let us say I am submitting it on 5th of January. I am submitting it at 5th of January. Within 7 days or not? Yes. Then they will consider date of provisional acknowledgement as date of filing appeal. So did I file the appeal within time? Yes. Will my appeal be considered? Yes. Let us say I am a lazy fellow. I am not submitting it here. I am submitting it on 10th of January. 10th of January. So what will be my date of filing of appeal? It will be considered as date of submission. So now this will become date of filing, whereas the 3 months is going to expire on 31st of December. Will your appeal be considered? No. They will tell you get lost. Will not consider your appeal. Why? Because you have filed it after the expiry of the time limit. Understood why date of filing is very important, right? So how you will determine date of filing of appeal? Tell me. If order copy is uploaded on the common portal, then the date on which provisional acknowledgement is issued, that itself will consider as date of filing of appeal. In case it is not uploaded on the common portal, then you have to submit self-certified copy. You have to submit within 7 days. If you are doing it within 7 days, date of provisional acknowledgement is itself we consider it as date of filing of appeal. If you are submitting it after 7 days, date of submission will be considered as date of filing of appeal. Okay, till here comfortable? Right. So like this, you will file an appeal here. So once you file an appeal, now the appellate authority, that commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, he will start hearing that case. Now hearings and all will happen. They will listen your argument, department's argument. Finally, they will give the order. So this is what if you want to file an appeal. Now other person is also sitting there, department. Sometimes because of the order you are happy, but higher officer is not happy. Then he can also refer your case to. He can also file an appeal for you. So now what will happen? Commissioner may either suo moto, commissioner either on his own action or on request of CGST, SGST commissioner, either CGST commissioner on his own motion, or some state or UTGST commissioners have asked him, requested him, sir, your subordinate has passed an order, might be that is wrong. Why can't we go for appeal so that we can get to know government interest is not affected? So either commissioner suo moto or on request of SGST or UTGST commissioner, he will file an appeal. For him, how much duration is there? 6 months it is there. 6 months from the date of communication of order. And for him, 1 month condonation is applicable. And he can file an appeal in form APL 03. And all the proceedings, whatever we have seen here, all that proceedings will remain common even in the case of department case also. But one thing here, there is no pre-deposit required. Department no. Why? They will ask money from the GST department. So here there is no requirement for pre-deposit. Without making any pre-deposit, within 6 months the department can make an appeal to the appellate authority. The commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals, they can make an appeal. So here for taxpayer, the duration is 3 months, 1 month condonation delay. For department, duration is 6 months, 1 month condonation delay. Understood? Clear and comfortable? So whatever it is, now either aggrieved person or a department, both of them will put their points. So now the appeal process will happen. Sir, what appeal process will happen? Appellate authority must follow principles of natural justice. So whatever natural justice principles are there, like opportunity of being heard, hearing both sides of the argument, giving opportunity for both, so considering the information before passing order, so like the principles of natural justice they will follow. And appellate order will pass an order in appeal. Finally, after considering all of it, he will pass an order in appeal. Original adjudicating authority order, we call it as order in original. Order in original means adjudicating authority's order, that superintendent, joint commissioner, additional commissioner, their order we call them as OIO, order in original. Now this appellate authority will pass an order, no, that we call it as OIA, order in appeal. To either confirm, what this appellate authority can do, either they can confirm the order, or they can modify the order, or even they can keep aside that order. They can reject that order altogether, annul that order. If AA enhances the rigor, let us say department filed an appeal or aggrieved person filed an appeal, because of the appeal what is happening is appellate authority is increasing the rigor. That means they are saying you are required to pay more tax, more interest, more penalty than whatever is given in the order. So that can be done only after giving an opportunity of being heard. Very, very important. Opportunity of being heard must be given, and that additional amount they can raise a demand only within the time limits of 74A. What is 74A time limit? 42 months, 3.5 years. We have the timeline low. They can make an order for fresh demand, but they can do it only if it is within the time limit of 74A. 42 months or 3.5 months. 42 months or 3.5 years. Within that, if the time is there, they can pass an order for asking you for extra amount, and they have to do it after giving an opportunity of being heard. Then, sir, then what? Withdrawal. Sometimes what will happen is someone filed an appeal. Either aggrieved person filed an appeal or department filed an appeal. If they wanted to withdraw the order, they can withdraw it. They can withdraw it. They want to withdraw their appeal. Sorry, not order. They want to withdraw their appeal. They can withdraw that appeal. So withdrawal of appeal. Appeal may be withdrawn either before issuing show cause notice or final order. So if amount is required, if extra amount you are required to pay, they will give you show cause notice, or they will pass final order before show cause notice is issued, or before appeal is finalized, whichever is earlier. Within that time you can withdraw. Within that time you can withdraw. So do it here before the appeal process has completed. That's what simply they have told. So if you want to withdraw the appeal, yes, you can withdraw the appeal. You can withdraw appeal either before show cause notice or giving order in appeal, whichever is earlier. Within that time you withdraw that appeal. However, if acknowledgement is already issued, sir, you made an appeal, GST APL 02 acknowledgement is already issued, then if you want to withdraw the appeal, yes, you can withdraw it if it is before show cause notice or order. But for that you will need appellate authority's approval. Before acknowledgement only you are withdrawing, well and good, nobody's approval will be required. But if you are withdrawing it after acknowledgement has been given by appellate authority, then you will need appellate authority's approval. Generally, appellate authority is supposed to give that approval within 7 days. Within 7 days, if they are happy, they will give the withdrawal, or else they will take up the appeal. So within 7 days, they will give you the confirmation. Sir, why withdrawal will happen? Why withdrawal will happen? Might be you have made wrong appeal. Might be you have made wrong appeal. Let us take this order only. So you have a disputed amount of 6 lakh. But later some another, your CA has told that, boss, useless fellow, this 4 lakhs also you are not required to pay. Your actual liability is 2 lakhs only. Actually, you can go for extra 2 lakhs. You can go for 8 lakh rupees of appeal. You can go. So like that somebody has told you, but you have already filed the appeal. So now what you will do, if order is not passed, if the show cause notice is not issued, you will withdraw. You will withdraw the existing appeal. Then you will file the fresh appeal. And that fresh appeal also should be filed within the time limit. You can make the fresh appeal only when it is within the time limit, that 3 months or 6 months with 1 month condonation delay. So that's what they say here. Fresh appeal after withdrawal must be filed within the limitation period. Sir, what will be the time limit for disposal? Once appeal has gone to appellate authority, what is the time limit for disposal? Within 1 year. Not compulsory. It is just an advisory time limit. Advisory, not compulsory. Even appellate authority can take extra time also. Advisory time limit is 1 year from date of filing of appeal. If during that period, if any stay is there, court or tribunal has given you stay from passing order, that period has to be excluded from calculating 1 year. In demands and recovery also we have seen it. So during that pendency of proceedings, if any stay has been given by tribunal or court, that period we have to exclude it. For issuing show cause notice, for passing on order, time limits, we have to exclude it. Till here, are you comfortable, able to understand? Right. So this is what the process for filing an appeal before appellate authority. Comfortable, no? Right. Now let us come to, okay, even if you are affected by, even if you are not happy with the appellate authority's order, you can approach whom? Appellate tribunal, GSTAT you can approach. Is there any more case where you can go to GSTAT? If you are affected with adjudicating authority's order, if you are not happy with the if you are not happy with the appellate authority's order, then you can go for appellate tribunal. Is there any more case where you can go to GST appellate tribunal? Revisional authority's order. Same here. So order or decision is passed by either adjudicating authority or revisional authority, then you can go for appeal to the GST appellate tribunal. Now who can go for appeal for GST tribunal, sir? Once again same, appeal by aggrieved person, or it could be appeal by department. Appeal by department. Here also, sir, what is the time limit available if you want to go for an appeal either against appellate authority's order or revisional authority's order? If you want to go to appellate tribunal, what is the time limit? Here also 3 months only, but here 3 months of condonation delay. In case of appellate authority, it is only 1 month of condonation delay. But here is what? For appellate tribunal, 3 months usual period and 3 months condonation delay. For department, sir, for department, 6 months normal period, but 3 months condonation delay. So 3 and 6 will remain common, but condonation delay will be increased by 3 more months. Now here also see here, within 3 months condonation from the date of communication of decision or order, file an appeal in form GST APL 05. Form numbers you need not remember, just I am telling you. So if you want to make an appeal to the appellate tribunal, you have to file form GST APL 05. Who? Taxpayer, if he wants to go for appeal. Here also mandatory pre-deposit. Here also mandatory pre-deposit. Sir, I already paid previous deposit. I already paid 10% at appellate authority. Still am I required to pay? Yes. Yes, you pay for it. So let us say for example, so you went for appeal here. Okay. So now 6 lakh rupees. This is the amount disputed. Let us say appellate authority gave the favor in judgment of department only. They told yes, department is correct. You are required to pay this 6 lakh rupees. You are required to pay this 6 lakh rupees also. The appellate authority has passed an order. Now you wanted to go for appeal. Sir, let us say out of this hearings and all, I decided that okay, my disputed amount is not 5 lakh rupees. My disputed amount should be 5 lakh rupees only. You might realize no, during the hearings and all, you might decide okay, might be my actual, I have to dispute for only 5 lakh rupees. You have decided. Now what you should do before you go for appellate authority, appellate tribunal, first you have to pay your admitted liability. You have already paid 4 lakh rupees of your admitted liability. Now you are admitting 1 more lakh. So pay that 1 lakh rupees along with interest, penalty and all. Now you are going for dispute of how much? 5 lakh rupees. On that 5 lakh rupees of tax amount, pay 10%. Pre-deposit. Sir, I already paid on 6 lakhs, sir. When I'm going for appellate authority, I already paid 10% on my disputed amount. Am I still required to pay? Yes, still you're required to pay. So there you would have paid 60,000 rupees. Here if you go for appeal with the appellate authority, whatever amount you are disputing there, that also you are required to make a pre-deposit. Here also maximum limit is 2040. 2040 limit will become applicable. And if any extra liability you are admitting, if any extra liability, interest, penalty you are admitting, that you have to clear. So pay the admitted tax, interest or penalty, or 10% of dispute amount, disputed tax. Sir, if my order is only for penalty, then I have to calculate 10% on penalty. Same point. Whatever we have seen in the previous case, the same pre-deposit rules will become applicable. Guys, are you able to follow? Okay, right. So that's what they say here. See, so even if you want to go for appellate authority's order, make a mandatory pre-deposit, 10% of disputed tax or penalty in case order demanding penalty only without tax, subject to a maximum of 20 or 40. And also if you are admitting any extra tax, interest or penalty, do that. There also what will happen? Provisional acknowledgement will be issued immediately. Now also appealed order uploaded on common portal If the answer is yes, AA shall issue final acknowledgement. Date of filing appeal will be date of final acknowledgement. No sir, I am not filing the appeal order. I am not submitting on the portal. Then you have to submit a self-certified copy within 7 days. If I am doing it, date of provisional acknowledgement itself will become date of filing appeal. If not, date of submission of self-certified copy will become my date of filing of appeal. This is okay, clear? Now, some extra points are there. Tribunal can refuse to admit an appeal if tax or ITC involved or difference in tax or ITC or fine, fee or penalty does not exceed 50,000. Small things they are not going to entertain. If you are disputing the amount of only 50,000 rupees, then tribunal will reject. This is only from the whose perspective? This is only from aggrieved registered person. This limit is only for registered person. If a registered person wants to go for appeal and if the amount is less than 50,000 or up to 50,000 rupees, that disputed amount, tribunal will not take up your order. They will not consider your appeal. Not just that, if the aggrieved person, if the registered person want to go for appeal, he will make a pre-deposit. In addition to that, you have to pay the fee also. You have to pay fee also. They have to give their time to you, no. They also have expenses, no. For that you have to pay the fee. How much fee, sir? For every 1 lakh rupees of disputed amount, 1000 rupees. For every 1 lakh rupees of disputed amount, 1000 rupees. But minimum fee should be 5,000. Maximum it can go up to 25,000. Minimum it should be 5,000. Maximum it can go up to 5,000. Let us say my disputed amount is 4 lakhs. My disputed amount is 4 lakhs. What will be the fee I have to pay? What will be the fee I have to pay? 1,000 per one for every 1 lakh 1,000 rupees. So 4 lakhs I have. So 4,000. How much minimum penalty? Minimum late fee? Minimum 5,000 I have to pay. So minimum 5,000 I have to pay. Even it is 4,000. I am paying, let us say 5 lakh 75,000. My disputed amount is 5 lakh 75,000. How much fee I become to pay? 6,000. 1,000 for every 1 lakh. Even for part of the 1 lakh also 1,000 rupees. So 6,000 rupees or minimum 5,000. How much? 6,000 I will pay. Why? Because actual fee amount itself is 6,000. Let us say for example, I have to go and appeal for 25 crores. I have to go for 25 crores. So how many lakhs are there? 250 lakhs? 250 lakhs only? Okay, 25,000. Yeah, 2,500 lakhs. This will be very bigger figure. Calculation itself will become very difficult. Let me do one thing. 2.5 CR you are going for appeal. So that will be 250 lakh rupees. So for every lakh 1,000. How much will be? How much it will be? 250 into 1,000 for every 1 lakh. It will come to 2 lakh 50,000. But maximum late fee is how much? 25,000 only. Maximum 25, minimum 5,000. In between, if your actual if your actual late fee is falling, that you consider it. Sir, in case if I am filing appeal for such an order which does not involve any tax, interest, fine or penalty, let us say I am challenging for imprisonment. I am challenging the order for imprisonment, not for tax, interest, penalty. Then how I will calculate late fees? Sir, don't worry, pay fixed amount, 5,000 you pay. 5,000 you pay. Next, no fee for application made for rectification of errors. Here they have given one relaxation in case if you are making an appeal for rectification of apparent errors and all. For that we don't want any fees from you. Next, this is one thing. Now I will come to this point later. So two special points are applicable in case if the registered person wants to go for appeal with the GST appellate tribunal. Number one, tribunal will not entertain the appeal if the amount is less than 50,000. And also you have to pay a filing fee, 1,000 rupees for every 1 lakh, subject to a minimum of 5,000, maximum of 25,000. If you are challenging an order where any tax, interest, penalty is not there, then you are required to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees. In case if you are challenging an appeal for rectification of errors, then no late fee will be collected from you. Till here you are comfortable. Now what if department is going for appeal? What if department is going for appeal? So here also commissioner may on suo motu or on request of SGST or UTGST, commissioner may file an appeal within 6 months or 3 months coordination in form APL 07. So if aggrieved person is going, what is the form? GST APL 05. If department is going, GST APL 07. And here also no pre-deposit required. Department is going for appeal, no pre-deposit will be required, and all other points will remain the same, but those special points also will not become applicable here. 50,000 limit department, 50,000 limit GST AT will not consider, and even this department need not pay the late fee also. Late fee is also not required. Understood? Now they have given one more option here. For registered person they have given one more option. Let us say for example you got an order. You got an order where two judgments have come. In that order, two issues are there. So now what you have thought is you did not consider your appeal. One thing you are accepting. So let us say for example, two issues are there in an order. One issue, another issue. One issue you got in favor. One issue you got in favor. Another issue is against to you in that order. But you did not challenge it. You did not file an appeal. Why? Because one thing you have got in favor, you thought why to have all this headache and all. Let us ignore it. You are not challenging it. But what happened is department challenged its order. Department challenged its order. So now department has already started the proceedings. No, the issue has gone to GSTAT, but issue was filed by department. So now you thought that anyhow you are happy with the order and all. That's why you did not go for appeal regarding amount which you are against, regarding the issue which you are against. But now department has started an appeal. No, now GSTAT will give you one option. What option? You file something called memorandum of cross objection. You file something called memorandum of cross objection. Department has started an appeal. You did not file an appeal earlier, but now department has started an appeal. Now what you do is, whatever issues in that order you are not agreeing, you file it in the memorandum of cross objection. The department will, the GSTAT will consider it as equal to appeal. That matters also will be considered in that case. Whatever you wanted to challenge, that also you can do it. Even though you are not filing the appeal, department had started the appeal, you file something called memorandum of cross objection. In that, whatever things you want to challenge in that order, you also challenge. The court will consider, the GSTAT will consider equivalent to an appeal, and they will consider all that points in that appeal. Understood? So that is what they say here. Respondent can file cross objection even though no separate appeal is filed. Sir, for that matter, I am not filing an appeal, sir. No worries. Department started the appeal. No, you also say your points, whatever you wanted to object. So within 45 days, you are required to do it. However, 45 days of condemnation delay is permitted. Advantage, no. For respondent, they had given an advantage. If you want, you file a memorandum of cross objection also. Clear? So this is what regarding appeals to the appellate tribunal. Why it has come? It is a duplication. Okay, fine. So now GSTAT, how they will carry out the appeal process. Let us see. Tribunal will pass order. Here also either to confirm or to modify or to annul the decision. Tribunal may refer the case back to AA or RA. In case if the department feels that either appellate authority or revisional authority has passed a wrong order, they can refer back the matter to them. Hey, please do the re-judgment here. Please redo the order here. This order I am cancelling. That also GSTAT can do. Then tribunal may grant 3 adjournments. If there is a valid reason, they can adjourn the cases also. 3 times they can do the adjournment. What do you mean by adjournment? Postponing it to the next date. Hearing will be postponed to the next date. So like that, 3 adjournments they can give. There is an advisory time limit of 1 year. Once again, advisory time limit only. Tribunal shall issue order in GST APL 04 indicating the final amount. So after all the order appeal has been completed, indicating the final amount, they will issue order in GST APL 04. For enhancing rigor, an opportunity of being heard must be given. Here also, if they want to increase the tax, interest, penalty and all, they must give an opportunity of being heard. Tribunal may correct its own order to rectify any apparent mistakes. If the tribunal has already passed an order, thereafter if they are finding any mistake in that, they can rectify it. Withdrawal of appeal. Sir, who can appeal? Who can withdraw the appeal? Either the aggrieved person might withdraw the appeal or department might withdraw the appeal. When? Before issuance of the show cause notice or before issuance of the order. Before issuance, whichever is earlier, within that time, if you want to withdraw, you can withdraw. And in case if final acknowledgement is already issued, you need AA's approval. That means you need appellate tribunal's approval. Sir, within 15 days here they can approve. They're 7 days only. Appellate authority, if they wanted to withdraw, there they have to give the approval in 7 days. But appellate tribunal, GSTAT, if they want to withdraw after acknowledgement, they have 15 days for approval. And fresh approval after withdrawal must be filed within the limitation period. Understood? Now, from here after, if you want to go for next, if you are not happy, either you or department, you are not happy with the GSTAT order, you can go to High Court. You can go to High Court. But from GSTAT to either High Court or Supreme Court, only you can go if there is a question of law. If there is a question of law. For question of fact, High Court, Supreme Court will not entertain your case. In law, you can go for appeal on 2 matters. Question of law, question of fact. What is question of law? Interpretation. So interpretation, let us say for example, I wanted to know whether an activity is supply or not. I wanted to decide whether an activity is supply or not under section 7 subsection 1. So if you are challenging this activity is not a supply, this activity is a supply or not a supply, if you are challenging on the question of law. So if the appeal is regarding question of law, interpretation or applicability of the provisions, then High Court and Supreme Court will entertain the appeal with the GSTAT order. But if you want to challenge on question of fact, sir, what is question of fact? Let us say supply has been determined, but I have an issue regarding consideration. How much is the consideration, or whether consideration is actually received or not? That is a fact. That is establishment of fact, not interpretation of law. Fact finding authority is GSTAT final. Now GSTAT has given an order, okay, there is a consideration of this much amount is there, on this amount you are required to pay GST. Now you can't say I will go to High Court challenging that the amount is not 5 lakh rupees, the amount is 10 lakh rupees. You can't go. Why? Because final fact finding authority is appellate tribunal. You can't go to High Court or Supreme Court challenging the question of fact. You can go if you are not agreeing with the interpretation of law, then only High Court or Supreme Court can entertain that appeal against the appellate authorities, appellate tribunal's order. Able to understand? Clear and complete. If I give you one more example here, exemption. Whether exemption is applicable or not, if you have to decide it, question of law. Exemption is applicable, but how much amount is exempted? That is a question of fact. So for question of law issue, appeal can be taken up by High Court or Supreme Court. If you want to challenge the question of fact, High Court and Supreme Court will not encourage straight away. Understood? Next. Some points here. I will clarify a few more points. Thereafter, I will go into the discussion. Non-appealable decisions and orders. There are some orders, there are some decisions which can't be appealed, which will be final. Sir, what are that orders which will not be appealed, which cannot be gone for appeal, which will be final? That means if the order comes, they will be final. You can't go for appeal. What are they? Number one, an order of commissioner or other authority transferring of proceeding from one officer to another officer. Let us say, for example, your case is under scrutiny and all. Commissioner, what he has done is, your case he has transferred from one officer to another officer. Now you can't file an appeal saying no, I want that officer only. I will go to appeal. That person only should do scrutiny for me because he's known person to me. I will get the audit done from him only. Like that you can't do. So that appeal will be final. That order will be final. Similarly, order pertaining to seizure or retention. We have done this. We have seen the seizure, right? Against a seizure order also you can't go for appeal. Seizure order will be final. They will, if they have decided to take these goods into seizure or detaining, they will take it. For that you can't go for appeal. And order sanctioning prosecution, 132, imprisonment. So that also you can't go for appeal. And order passed under 80, what is it? Payment in installments. Like if you remember demand and recovery, the department, if you are not able to pay the dues in one go, you can approach the department for installments. Maximum 24 EMIs they can offer. So against that also you can't go for appeal. Department can't say no. Or let us say department is giving only 15 months. Maximum is 24. They are giving only 15 months of EMI. You can't go. I will go for appeal. I want 24 months only. Like that you can't go. So like that, these are 4 such orders or decisions against which you can't go for appeal. This you have to remember. So tell me, what are the 4 cases which you can't go for appeal? An order of commissioner transferring the proceedings from one officer to another officer, order pertaining to seizure or retention of the books, order sanctioning prosecution, and order passed under section number 80, payment in installments. These are the 4 such orders or decisions which cannot be gone for appeal. These orders will be final. That's what they meant. Okay, clear then. And one more thing here, in case if the department wants to go for appeal, if they want to go for appeal for GSTAT, don't go for small amounts. The GSTAT will encourage the appeal by the department only if the disputed amount is 20 lakh rupees. Similarly, if they want to go for High Court, they will encourage the appeal by the department only if the amount involved is 1 crore. If the Supreme Court, it is 2 crores. So you have to remember here, these monetary limits are for department, not for registered person. Even this amount is not there, still the registered person can go for appeal to GSTAT, High Court or Supreme Court. The restriction is only there for department. And if you pay close attention here, there is no limit for going to appellate authority. Department can go to appellate authority, like commissioner appeals and joint additional commissioner appeals. They can go for appeal without any monetary limit. Only limit is there when you want to file an appeal with GSTAT or High Court or Supreme Court. So how to calculate this amount, what and all should be considered? Sometimes for this there are some exceptions also. Sometimes a department can go for appeal even with the amount is less than this amount. There are some exceptions are also there. All that we'll try to cover it in the material. Okay, so able to understand? Shall we proceed further now? Right. So with this background discussion, now we will go into the material. So we have given some definitions, ignore that definitions, not required. I have explained you clearly who is appellate authority, who is adjudicating authority, who is revisional authority. Clearly I have mentioned, no need to read it. Even you can strike it off in the material also, no issue. So now appeals to the appellate authority. See, but before talking about appeals and all, they say something regarding revision that we will try to cover it. Powers of revisional authority. What is this revision process? First we will try to understand. Thereafter we'll go to the appeals. So orders which can be revised. Orders when which kind of orders can be revised by the revisional authority. Number one, GST laws also provide a mechanism of revision by a revisional authority of orders passed by subordinate officers of another jurisdiction. So revisional authority may either suo motu, and who is the revisional authority? As we have told, additional or joint commissioner, principal commissioner of other jurisdiction. So this revisional authority either suo motu or on information received or on the request of SGST or UTGST commissioner call for and examine the record of any proceedings, where record includes all records relating to proceedings under the CGST Act available at the time of examination. So any kind of record they can pick it up. On examining the records, if RA finds that an order of the subordinate officer under CGST, SGST or UTGST Act is either erroneous or prejudicial to revenue or illegal or improper. If the revisional authority finds that that order was erroneous and it was harmful to the revenue, it is illegal or improper. Or if he feels that it has not taken into account some material facts, whether available at the time of issue of order or not. While passing that order, some facts were not considered, or in consequence of C and AG observations, or it could be because of C and AG observations. He may, if necessary, stay the operation of such a decision or order for a period he may deem fit. First, what he can do is he can stay the order, stop the proceeding, stop the order, he can say. Then, thereafter, RA may, after further inquiry, pass any just and proper order, including enhancing, modifying, or annulling the decision. So then revisional authority will do the review, and after completion of the review, they will give you a review. After completion of the revision, they will give a revisional order. In that revisional order, either they can enhance, or they can modify, or even they can annul. Keep aside that order. Next, and issue a summary clearly indicating the final amount of demand confirmed. If RA proposes to pass an order adversely affecting a person, like because of revisional authority, the amount is increasing. Now what they can do, if before they pass that order for increasing the penalty, tax, interest, first they have to give an opportunity, survey notice, and provide an opportunity of being heard. Every revision order shall subject to a further appeal only to a tribunal. This is what I have told. Revisional authorities order, you can't go for appellate authority. You have to, if you want to go for appeal, either go for tribunal, thereafter High Court, thereafter Supreme Court. Next, fetters to the provision of revision. Sir, what is it? That means in some cases, revisional authority can't exercise this power. Revisional authority can't exercise their revisional power. When, sir? The power of revision is subject to condition that non-appealable orders and decisions under section 121 cannot be revised. What are non-appealable orders? Just now we have seen, no? What are non-appealable orders? These are the 4 non-appealable orders under section 121. So for these 4 orders, they can't do revision. If they are not appealable, they are not revisable also. So these 4 orders, they can't take it up for revision. Next, RA shall not exercise power of revision. That means revisional authority can't do revision when, if order sought to be revised has already been subjected to an appeal before AA, Tribunal, High Court, or Supreme Court. Some order is passed by authority, adjudicating authority, but that order is already subjected to appeal. That means either it is appealed by department, or it is appealed by aggrieved person. Appeal is going on, or it has been appealed before appellate authority, tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court. Already proceedings are going. Then he should not pitch in. Why? Because that order is not yet final. When the person has gone for appeal, that means that order is not yet final. Now how you can come and take revision for that? You can't do it. But however, they have told one point here. Let us say, for example, in one order you have gone for appeal, but in that order 2 matters are there. There is an issue regarding product B, there is an issue regarding product Q. Now appeal is going on only regarding product P. On another issue, it is not subjected to appeal. That can be taken up for revision by the revisional authority. That can be taken up for revision by the revisional authority. So what is the thumb rule they are saying? If an adjudicating authority's order is subjected to appeal, either before appellate authority, tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court, you should not take it up for revision. Why? Because they are already fighting. In between, who are you to involve? Because the order is not yet final if someone has gone for appeal. But an order has been subjected to appeal, but in that order multiple issues are there. There are some areas which were not subjected to appeal. On that issues no one is going for appeal. That issues you can take it up. You can take it up for revision. Able to understand? So that's what they say here. However, RA may pass an order on points which are not raised or decided in appeal before the time limit. Time limit is there. So if you want to take revision for a few aspects which are not challenged in the appeal, for that you can do the revision. Sir, what is the time limit for doing that revision? They say either within 1 year from appellate order or within 3 years from the initial order, whichever is later. See, this order has been subjected to appeal, no? This order has been subjected to appeal, no? So this appeals order will come either within 1 year from the date of that appellate order or 3 years from the date of original adjudicating order, whichever is later. Within that time you are required to complete the revisional process. We'll do some illustrations, but just to follow whatever I'm trying to say. So first here, till now what I have told, when revision is not possible. Number one, if the order is not appealable, it is not possible. Similarly, if the order is already subjected to an appeal, you cannot take it up for revision. One exception is there. There are some issues in that order for which appeal is not gone for. That issues you can take it up for revision. And what is the time limit for completion of revision? Either 1 year from the date of appellate order or 3 years from the date of original order, original adjudicating authority's order, whichever is later. Within that time you are required to complete your revision process. Then, and also period of 6 months from the date of communication has not yet expired, then also you can't take it up. Adjudicating authority has passed an order. Revisional authority will get the power to do the revision only after 6 months. Can you explain me the logic why? Why only after 6 months they are asking you to take it up for revision? Within 6 months they are not asking you to take it up for revision. Why? Think, you will get the answer. Revisional authority can take up adjudicating authority's order for revision, but they are saying you will get that power only after 6 months from the date of order. Why? Why? Because up to 6 months they have a power to go for appeal. No. When they have decided not to go for appeal, then you take it up for revision. So within 3 months, the person is having an order. Up to 6 months, the department is having a power to go for appeal. So anyhow, within 6 months of time, that appeal, the time limit for going for appeal is there. Now you don't go and interfere in between. Now if you come and interfere, now what department will say is we are going for appeal. Who are you to come in between? Our order is only not final. Then you will become a fool there. So that's why revision should not be started for a period of unless and until period of 6 months has not expired. And also beyond 3 months also you can't do it. Beyond 3 months, order has come, 3 months is over from the date of order. That if you want to do the revision, no, not possible. If you want to do the revision, do it after 6 months from the date of issuance of the order, or maximum within 3 years from the date of order. You have to complete it. Or one more case where revision is not possible is order has already been taken for revision at an earlier stage. That means you are revising the revisional order. One order is there that was already revised. Now you want to revise it once again. Not possible. Then, sorry. Orders ought to be revised in itself a revisional order. Sorry. See here what they say is one order is there. It was already revised. That original order one more time you can't revise. And this revised order also you can't revise. That's what the meaning of the 2 points. If the original order is already taken up for revision, the same original order you can't take it up for revision. And if the revised order itself, if you want to take it for revision, that is also not possible. So that is these are the cases where revision is not possible. This is what we call it as fetters to the provision of revision. Fetters means restriction on the powers of revision. So now here we have one example here. See, this 1 year, this time limit is there. No, this is very important. So in case of appeal, within 1 year from the appeal order or within 3 years from the date of original order. ABC Private Limited was issued a show cause notice alleging wrong exemption on product B and short tax on product Q, 18 versus 12%. The adjudicating authorities order dated 15th of January 2025. So adjudicating authorities main order when it has come 15th of January 2025 confirmed a 10 lakhs demand only for product P. That means in the issue, in the order, they are not commenting anything on product Q. So they have given order only for product P. When the adjudicating authorities order has come 15th of January. The company has gone for appeal. When the company has gone for appeal 16th of February 2025. And they are appealing only on product Q only. They are not appealing on product P only. They are not appealing for product Q. AA, appellate authority, allowed exemption for P, wide order dated 31st of December 2025. They have gone for appeal, no? That appeal order, when it has come? 31st of October 2025. Then the appellate order has come. Since the tax rate issue on Q was neither appealed nor decided, the RA may revise the order. For that Q, that issue which is not taken up or decided in the appeal, that can be taken up for revision by the revisional authority. What is the time limit, you tell me? What is the maximum time limit? You have all the dates available here. What is the adjudicating order? What is the adjudicating authority's order date? What is the date of appeal? What is the appeal order? So tell me what is the time limit within which this has to be resolved? Within 1 year. So tell me the date. Within 1 year from the date of adjudicating authority's order. What is 1 year from the date of adjudicating, within 1 year from the date of appellate authority's order. So what is the date of appellate authority's order? 31st of October. 1 year means what? 31st of October 2026. Or one more date also we have. 3 years from the date of original order. What is the original order given? 15th of January. 3 years from there means what? 15th of January 2028, whichever is later. That means this date. Till this date you will have the time to revise that. But you can only revise that aspect which was not taken up for appeal, which are not decided in the appeal. That only you can take it up for revision. So if you see it here, the later of 31st of October 2026, 1 year from the adjudicating authority's order, and 15th of January 2028, 3 years from the adjudicating order, that is till 15th of January 2028, whichever is later. Till that point of time you can revise it. Clear? Important. Remember it. Next, period to be excluded in computing limitation of 3 years. See, as we have seen, maximum you will have 3 years from the date of adjudicating authority's order for filing and for doing revision. But while doing that, while calculating that 3 years, some duration has to be excluded. This we have already seen. This we have already seen in the demands and recovery. If court or tribunal has stayed, if they are putting a stay order on doing that revision, then that period has to be excluded. Or if lower court has passed a decision that you have made an appeal at the higher court, high court has given a decision against a department, against that issue you have filed a appeal with Supreme Court. From the date of judgment of that high court till the date of the Supreme Court, you can't take any action. Even that period also you have to exclude it while calculating that 3 years. Demands and recovery, exact point we have covered. In the demands and recovery, while discussing I guess 74A, while discussing 74A we have told. So when you are calculating that limit and all, the time limit for issuance of show cause notice, or especially time limit for passing an order, 2 periods have to be excluded. So you have to pass an order within 12 months. But you have to exclude 2 durations. In case if the order is stayed by any court or tribunal, that you excluded. Or in this order one issue is there, for which you got an unfavorable judgment at the lower forum, that you are challenging it at a higher forum. So high court has given judgment against a department, but department has gone for appeal to the Supreme Court. So the time lag between the date of filing of appeal with the date of order of high court till the date of order of Supreme Court, that also has to be excluded while calculating that time limit. The same time limit, the same exclusions, you have to do it even for 3 years also. So if decision or order sought to be revised involves an issue on which appellate tribunal or high court has given its decision in some other proceedings, and an appeal to high court or Supreme Court against such decision is pending, such period spent between dates of decision of appellate tribunal or high court and high court and Supreme Court decision, that shall be excluded while computing limitation period of 3 years. And also, when issuance of the revision order is stayed by order of a court or tribunal, period of such a stay also shall be excluded in computing the period of limitation of 3 years. Able to understand? I think you are not able to connect this point. Are you able to connect this point? I will tell you. Somewhere gap is coming. I am not getting that satisfaction from you. Let us say there is one revisional authority here. There is one adjudicating authority. It has passed an order. It has given one exemption. In that order, they have granted one exemption. Now, revisional authority wants to do the revision. But what happened is, this exemption was granted. Even tribunal, or let us say for example, even high court has also told that exemption is applicable. This item should not be taxed. But department has challenged it. It is against the department, so department has challenged it. They have challenged it in the Supreme Court. So now finally Supreme Court judgment has come in favor of department. See, when that issue is pending, Revisional authority can't take action. No, even if they start taking the action also, this exemption is not valid. You have to pay the tax. What that person will say, I have a high court judgment. I have a high court judgment, get lost. So he can't do that. That revision, he can't do it within 3 years. Why? Because the case is pending. So that's why what they have told is, from the date of decision of High Court till the date of decision of the Supreme Court, whatever time is there, that you add it to the 3 years due date, that you add it. That is what the meaning of excluding this time limit from the 3 years competition period. Now you got the clarity. Similar kind of example I have used it even for 74A also. So whatever exclusion we are doing it for 74A passing of order time limit, same you have to exclude it even for revision proceedings also. Next. Now, officers who are authorized to act as revisional authorities, as I've already told you, in case if adjudicating order is passed by additional or joint commissioner, then only principal commissioner or commissioner will take it up. However, if the adjudicating order is passed by deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner or superintendent, then even additional or joint commissioner also can act as a revisional authority. Then, so this is what regarding revisional process. Now, since we got the revision process also clear, now we will have a quick look at the appeals, how you can go for appeal. So first you should go to appellate authority, appeals to appellate authority. Who will fall under appeal authority? Appellate authority. Tell me, who will fall under appellate authority? Either commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. They will only fall under appellate authority. Read it here. So I want you to read it, or else I will only read it quickly, because everything I have covered this in the chart. Just we will try to give a quick reading once. Orders which are appealable to AA. Which kind of orders you can go? An appeal against any decision or order passed by adjudicating authority, like superintendents, joint or assistants or deputy commissioner, or joint or additional commissioners, either under CGST Act, SGST Act, they have to go for appellate authority. Only aggrieved person can file appeal, not just aggrieved person, even department. In the next point there's a department appeal also. Time limit for filing appeal, what is it? 3 months from the date of communication of such decision or order. AA can count down the delay by 1 month if it is satisfied. Form for filing an appeal, GST APL 01, electronically you have to do. But I have told manual submission is also permitted. Application appeal may be filed manually in GST APL 01 when, if commissioner has notified, or same cannot be filed electronically due to non-availability of decision or order to be appealed against on common portal. Just remember, APL 01 can be filed electronically or even manually. Now, and immediately a provisional acknowledgement will be issued. Where appealed order is uploaded on the common portal, AA shall issue final acknowledgement in the form GST APL 02 indicating appeal number, and date of provisional acknowledgement itself will be treated as date of filing of appeal. That's what even I have told you here, this case. So if you come to this case, if appellate order, if that order is already issued and it is already uploaded on the common portal, in that case date of filing of appeal will be date of provisional acknowledgement only. Then if you come to the next point, where appealed order is not uploaded, appellate shall submit a self-certified copy within 7 days of filing of the form GST APL 01, after which AA will issue the final acknowledgement in form GST APL 02, and provisional acknowledgement date shall be treated as date of filing when you submit within 7 days. If self-certified copy is not submitted within 7 days, date of its submission shall be treated as a date of filing of the appeal, and appeal is deemed filed only upon issuance of the final acknowledgement. That's what even I have tried to cover it in the chat. Next, mandatory pre-deposit. You are required to do a mandatory pre-deposit for filing an appeal. Sir, what is that mandatory pre-deposit? Come here. I told you that 10%, no? Sir, where it was mentioned, sir? There will be one heading called mandatory pre-deposit. See there? Here it is. See. Section 107.6. If you are able to find the page number 23.10. So if you come here, so 107.6 provides that no appeal shall be filed before appellate authority, before commissioner appeals and additional commissioner appeals, unless appellant has filed full amount of tax, interest, fine, fee, penalty arising from impunged order as is admitted. Admitted tax and penalty interest you have to pay. And also a sum equal to 10% of remaining amount of tax in dispute, only consider tax in dispute, arising from impunged order in relation to which appeal has been filed, subject to a maximum of 20 or 40. And this point provided that in case any order demanding penalty only without any tax, no appeal shall be filed unless such an amount equal to 10% of the penalty has been paid. If the demand order, if you are going for appeal for a demand order in which a tax, interest, penalty, everything is there, pay 10% of tax. If in that demand order only penalty is there, pay 10% of the penalty. Hey, everything I have explained here, don't give the blank faces. My 3 hours of hard work yesterday night. Then, So let us come back. If I don't give you all this background discussion, no, this will definitely, this chapter also, like offenses only you will think. Offense also I have put a lot of effort to make it simple for you. This I have gone to another level. So to make this simple, first I have to give you all that flow, who is authority, revisional process, then appeal process. So much of effort has gone into it. Listen. Then appellate tribunal. No, not this one. Okay. So this part we are done. Sir, how appellant will do the filing that we have seen. Now application before AA by the department. Sir, how department will do? Orders against which application can be filed. Same here. Any order which has been passed by appellate authority, commissioner, may either on suo motu basis or on request of SGST, UTGST or commissioner may call for examine records of any proceedings, and if you want to satisfy whether that order is legal or proprietary or not, and he can approach an adjudicate passed by adjudicating authority, he can approach the appellate authority. Sir, what is the time limit, sir? Even for commissioner, 6 months, 1 month condonation delay is permitted. Sir, what is the form, sir? GST APL 03. And all the points will become applicable here. But however, that pre-deposit will not become applicable. There is no requirement for making pre-deposit in case of departmental appeal. And application to be treated as fresh appeal. That means in case if that commissioner is making a request, sir, our subordinate has passed an order, please do reconsider. Like that he will make an application to appellate authority. That itself will be considered as appeal. Next. Now what appeal process appellate authority has to follow? AA must follow principles of natural justice like hearing appellant, granting reasonable adjournments, maximum 3, not allowing additional grounds of appeal where omission was not willful and found reasonable. That means they should not encourage new points. Whatever appeal has been filed, that only they will consider. And order of AA. AA may conduct further inquiry and pass an order in appeal to either confirm, modify, annul the appealed order, but they cannot refer the case back to adjudicating authority. Appellate authority can do, appellate tribunal can do. Appellate authority can't refer the case back to adjudicating authority or revisional authority. Appellate tribunal can refer the matter back to the adjudicating authority or revisional authority. Appellate authority can't refer the matter back to adjudicating authority or revisional authority. They have to give an order. Appellate authority may enhance the rigor, but for doing it, they should give an opportunity of being heard. This also I have covered in the summary. Then, if tax is unpaid, short paid, wrongfully refunded, or ITC is wrongly availed or utilized, AA can pass an order to pay tax or ITC only after issuing a show cause notice, and that too within the time limits of 74A. Excess amount of tax, interest, penalty, if you want to collect, you can do it only within the time limits of 74A, 42 months or 3.5 years. Appellant may withdraw before earlier of show cause notice or order in appeal by filing GST ALP 01W or 03W. If acknowledgement is already issued, that withdrawal requires AA's approval as decided by AA within 7 days. 7 days he will give the approval. Any fresh appeal has to be filed within the prescribed limitation period. Order in appeal must be a speaking order in which they have to state issues, decisions, reasons and all. There is an advisory time limit of 1 year for disposal of the appeal. AA must communicate the order. That means once order has been finalized, he will communicate that order to the appellant. He will also communicate it to the respondent. Appellant means whoever filed an appeal. Respondent means other party. And he should also communicate it to adjudicating authority and jurisdictional CGST, SGST, UTGST commissioners. For everybody, this order will be communicated. AA's order is final and binding unless challenged before a higher appellate forums. What are the higher appellate forums? Appellate Tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court. Right. So any person aggrieved by any decision or order passed under GST law, or an officer who is directed to appeal against any decision or order passed under said law may appeal within 3 months, 6 months in case of department. See, what is the whole discussion is, who will be that appellate authority? That's what they are saying. Who will be that appellate authority? As I have told, in case if the adjudicating order is passed by additional or joint commissioner, then directly commissioner appeals. If the adjudicating order is passed by deputy or assistant commissioner or superintendents, directly you can go to joint commissioner appeals or additional commissioner appeals. That's what I told you, from the beginning itself. I have told nothing new. This everything I have covered in the chat. Refer to the chat. You can simply refer to the chat whatever I have told, and each and every point I have covered. No need to come and read this also. Right. Similarly, there will be something called procedure for appellate tribunal also will be there. That you read it. Try to match with the chart. I will come to this later. Appeal to appellate tribunal, page number 23.7. Their procedure is there. Try to read it once quickly. matching with the chat. I will display the chat on the screen. So matching with the chat, you try to read it. Appellate tribunal related discussion. Some green colored amendments are there that I will explain. Ignoring that, you read it. That even if you read it also, you will be able to automatically understand it. Anything new? Even you can read that common provisions also. Common provisions also you read it. You will be able to understand. Read order also. Order of appellate tribunal. Everything. All the points you cover. Over. So just if I take you through, will not read in a detailed manner. So just I will connect it here. So first, which order can be appealed? We have already told any order given by appellate authority or revisional authorities order. Time limit 3 months in case of taxpayer. In case of department 6 months. Condonation delay 3 months. Next. And what is the form for filing in case aggrieved person? GST APL 05. Previously they used to allow manual filing of GST APL 05 also. Now they have withdrawn it. So if a person has to file an appeal with the appellate tribunal, like in case of GST APL 01, there we still have manual filing, but if you want to make an appeal with the appellate tribunal, only electronic filing, manual filing is not there. So previously they used to allow manual filing, so that's what even below that scoring you will be able to find the text. They used to allow manual filing, but now manual filing is not there. If you want to make an appeal to the appellate tribunal, only electronic filing. Next. This point also I have told, tribunal will not encourage an appeal from registered person when, if the tax or ITC involved, difference in tax or ITC involved, amount of fine, fee or penalty is less than 50,000 rupees. Memorandum of cross objection. This also I have told. What is memorandum of cross objection? The department started an appeal, but you did not initially start the appeal, but you have some objections. Keep that objections within 45 days. Condonation delay of 45 days is permitted, and that memorandum of cross objection itself will be treated as an fresh appeal. It will be treated equal to the appeal only. Next, fees for filing. This also we have seen it or not. 1,000 for every 1 lakh, minimum 5,000, maximum 25,000. If the order is not for any payment, then it will be minimum 5,000. For rectification of errors, no late fee. Then mandatory pre-deposit is required. Sir, what is that mandatory pre-deposit? Once again, you come to the same heading. So if you come to this mandatory pre-deposit here, 112.8 lays down that no appeal can be filed before appellate tribunal unless appellant deposits full amount of tax, interest, fee and late fee and 10% of the remaining amount of tax dispute, subject to a maximum of 20 or 40. In case if the order is only for demanding penalty, you pay 10% of penalty. Same, just one thing will change. Here they say appellate authority, here they will say appellate authority, here they will say appellate tribunal. That's the only difference. Provisions are all same, right? So then after that, next one. So this is not an important point. If appellant has made a pre-deposit, if recovery proceedings are already started, it will be stopped. If recovery is already started, like they have attached to your property, they are issuing a garnish order and all, but if you made a pre-deposit and went for an appeal, then all that recovery proceedings will be stayed. Next. Now we'll come to one more point is there, that I will come back to that later. Departmental appeal. Even department also can go for appeal. And what is the time limit for department? 6 months, 3 months condonation. In which form they will file? GST APL 07. Then as if it was an appeal, there is no requirement for making a pre-deposit. Some common provisions. Memorandum of cross objections, I have already told you. So previously manual filing used to be there. Now manual filing is not there. So and form for submitting that memorandum of cross objections is GST APL 06. In that you can submit cross objections. Previously they used to permit it manually, but now manually is not there, only electronically. Today manual filing is only permitted for GST APL 01. Remaining all used to be there previously, but now they have stopped it. Then what is the date of filing appeal? This I have already told you. If you are uploading the order on the portal, date of provisional acknowledgement. If you are not uploading the order on the portal, but if you are submitting the self-certified statement within 7 days, date of provisional acknowledgement. In all other cases, date of submission of the self-certified statement. Next. Then some form references are there. So final acknowledgement will be issued in 2A. Provisional acknowledgement will be issued into that form numbers are there. So just have a look at that once. Then appeal shall be treated only when final acknowledgement is generated. Appeal and memorandum of cross objection shall be signed in the prescribed manner. Registrar means registrar appointed by the government for this purpose and include joint registrar, deputy registrar, assistant registrar. Not important. Some small procedural formalities, you ignore it. Now order. So as I have told, tribunal after hearing both sides, either they can confirm, modify or annul the decision. And as I have told, appellate authority can't refer back, but appellate tribunal can refer back the matter to AA or RA or even original adjudicating authority. They can refer back the matter to appellate authority. They can refer back the matter to revisional authority, or even they can refer back the matter to original adjudicating authority who has originally passed the order. Next. It can grant up to 3 adjournments. Here also 3 adjournments it can grant. The law has given an advisory time limit of 1 year within which this process has to be completed. And tribunal shall send a copy of its order to AA, RA, original adjudicating authority, appellant, jurisdictional commissioner. Every order passed by the tribunal shall be final and binding unless a dispute is taken to the next higher level. Which higher level? High Court and Supreme Court. The appellate tribunal shall, along with its order, appellate tribunal will give you court order. Along with that, they should also give a summary order in form GST APL 04A, clearly indicating final amount of demand confirmed by the appellate tribunal. So they will issue order. Along with the order, you give demand order also. Like the way 74A demand order is coming, no. As an appellate tribunal, you fixed the amount, no. You also give the demand order now to the appellant. which will act as a collection. It will that means demand proceedings will start within 3 months. You have to pay the money. If you don't pay the money, recovery proceedings will start. So that's why they have asked you to issue the demand order also. Then rectification of errors, some extra point. Tribunal can correct its own order for any apparent mistakes, but it has no power of review. It can't review its decision, but any apparent mistakes are there. On face, some mistakes are there that they can rectify it. Tribunal may amend any order so as to rectify any error apparent on the face of the record. Notice by either its own accord or if pointed out by commissioners within 3 months from the date of the order. No amendment enhancing assessment, reducing refund, ITC or increasing liability shall be made without giving an opportunity of being heard. If you want to increase the interest penalty late way either by way of correcting the mistakes, there also you have to give an opportunity of being heard. Here also will the withdrawal be possible? Yes, withdrawal will be possible before issuance of the show cause notice or final order. And if it is already final acknowledgement is issued, you need appellate tribunal's approval for withdrawal, and you can make a fresh application for appeal within 50 fresh application for appeal within applicable time limits. Here difference is 15 days. Appellate authority will give approval in 7 days for withdrawal. For appellate tribunal, we have 15 days of time for giving approval. Then, so now regarding GST appellate tribunal, we have some special points. Its constitution, who will be there. So like that, they say a few points here. Let us try to quickly cover it. Not that important from the examination perspective. They will talk about what is this appellate tribunal. See, even though GST has come into existence in 2017, but GST appellate tribunal was constituted in the year 2023. Somewhere in September 2023, GST appellate tribunal they have constituted. Even today also it is not functioning properly. 2017 GST Act has come, but GST-AT they have established, they have constituted GST-AT in 2023, but even today also GST appellate tribunal is not functioning properly because they don't have resources, they don't have the people, they are not having the judicial people to run that GST appellate tribunal. So today also there are so many lapses in working of the GST-AT, but whatever it is, we have it. So quickly we'll try to read, not that important from the examination perspective, just its constitution, who will be members, what they will do. So like that they will tell you a few things. Tribunal is a second level appeal. What is first level appeal? Appellate authority. Appellate authority is first level appeal. Tribunal is a second level appeal, where appeals can be filed against orders in appeal passed by appellate authority and order in revision passed by revision authority by any person aggrieved by such an order in appeal or order in revision. Constitution of appellate tribunal and benches. So as I have told, government shall on council recommendations by notification establish with effect from such as specified an appellate tribunal. So government from a specified date, they will establish a GST appellate tribunal, which will be called as GST appellate tribunal. For what purpose? For hearing appeals against orders which are passed by appellate authority, revision authority, or for conducting examination, adjudicating, etc. Jurisdiction, powers and authority conferred on the appellate tribunal shall be exercised by the principal bench and state bench. So whatever responsibilities are there for appellate tribunal, for that carrying out the functions, they have created two benches, principal bench, state bench. Government shall by notification constitute a principal bench of appellate tribunal at New Delhi. Principal bench will be sitting at New Delhi, which shall consist of president, not president of India. For this principal bench, they will nominate one president, and there will be a judicial member, and there will be technical member center, technical member state. Minimum 4 people should be there. President will be there, judicial member will be there, technical member from center, technical member from state. On request of state, government by notification constitute such a number of state benches also at such places and with such a jurisdiction as recommended by council. And in the state benches, who will be there? 2 judicial members will be there, a technical member will be there, a technical member from center, a technical member from state. And out of these 2 judicial members, senior most judicial member should act as a vice president. Senior most judicial member should act as a vice president. So jurisdiction, principal and state benches shall hear appeals against orders passed by AA or RA. In cases, this is what I have told, in cases issues relating to place of supply, they will be heard only by principal bench. In case matters referred under section 171 subsection 2 anti-profiteering, the cases will be heard only by principal bench. Government may on council recommendations may notify cases or class of cases which shall be heard only by principal bench. If any government notifies, those issues also will be heard only by the principal bench. Transfer of cases. Subject to section 109(5), President may, by general or special order, distributed business of appellate tribunal among benches from principal bench to state bench to principal bench. For quick completion of work, they can assign the works. Vice president for state benches is, I've already told you, there will be two judicial members. Senior most judicial member should act as a vice president. Senior most judicial member of state benches as notified shall act as a vice president, exercise prescribed powers of president, but for all other purposes be considered as member. Single member bench. That means in a few cases, in small cases and all, you don't, minimum actually two people will be required. Minimum two people will be required to hear the case. But in some cases, even single member bench is also permitted. Even one person can also hear. So what are that cases? Cases can be heard by a bench consisting of only a single member if following conditions are fulfilled. What are they? Amount of tax, ITC involved, amount of fine, fee or penalty determined does not exceed 50 lakh rupees. And matter does not involve any question of law. Prior approval of the president has been obtained and any other prescribed conditions. All cumulatively, if all conditions are satisfied, single member bench can hear the case. A single person can hear, either judicial, either technical, either judicial member, technical member, any one person can hear the case and give the judgment. In other cases, it shall be held together by one judicial member, one technical member. In all other cases, one judicial member, one technical member should be there. Two member bench should be there. For the purpose of reckoning the amount of 50 lakh rupees, cumulative tax or ITC involved or amount of fine, fee, penalty shall be determined with reference to all issues and all tax periods covered in the order. So we are telling the limit of 50 lakhs, no? Now, in that order, whatever case it is, you have to consider if there are multiple issues involved, multiple taxable periods. Let us say, for example, an appeal may be relating to 5 years. For all the 5 years, amount to put together, it should be 50 lakh rupees, not for each year. There might be some 20 issues in that appeal. Now, for all the issues put together, you have to consider the amount of 50 lakh rupees of limit. So that's what they say. For the purpose of reckoning amount of 50 lakh rupees, cumulative tax of ITC involved, cumulative, that means total value of ITC involved, amount of fine, fee or penalty shall be determined with reference to all issues and all tax period covered in that appeal, covered in the order which you are appealing against. Next, majority rule in case of difference of opinion. Let us say two member bench is there, one judicial member, one technical member. Now generally both should arrive at a common conclusion, but one person is saying one thing, another person is saying another thing. There is a difference of opinion. What will happen? One more person will be appointed. His judgment will be when he is also hearing the case. Now he will also give his opinion. Now majority will come. That majority decision will be passed. So where members difference in opinion on any point, they shall consider points of difference, and president shall refer the case for hearing. To whom he will refer? If appeal was originally heard by member of state bench, to another member of the state bench. If state bench member has heard it, to another state bench member they will assign for hearing the case. If no other state bench is available within the state, then member of another state bench they can deploy. If appeal was originally heard by members of principal bench, to another member from principal bench, or no such other member is available, member of any state bench. Whoever is available, that they will refer the case for hearing. Now anyhow, if one person gets added, majority will come. No, two are there, point of difference is there. This one person will take one decision, majority will come, the decision will be implemented. And such point or points shall be decided according to the majority opinion. Transfer of members from administrative efficiency. Members can be transferred from state to central, state to principal, principal to state. That also they can do. Government may, in consultation with president for administrative efficiency, transfer members from one bench to another. Technical members of a state bench may be transferred to state bench only of the same state. Within the same state only you can be transferred, in which he was originally appointed in consultation with the state government. Next, defect in constitution not to render proceedings invalid. Sir, what do they say here? No act or proceeding of the appellate tribunal shall be questioned or invalidated merely due to a vacancy or defect in the constitution. Let us say, for example, principal bench you take. There should be minimum 4 members: president, judicial member, technical member from state, technical member from central. But let us say when your case was heard, there are only 3 people. In the bench, there are only 3 people. Out of that, 2 people have heard the case and passed a judgment. Now you can't say that passing of order is invalid. Why? Because there is no full constitution of the principal bench. Principal bench should contain 4 members, but when they have heard my case there are only 3 members. I will not consider this valid. I will question it. I will challenge it. You can't say that. Don't just keep an act or proceeding aside because of defect in the vacancy. Some vacancy is there, some lapse is there. On the basis of that reason, it will not be kept aside. Why? Because the GST appellate tribunal is still evolving. There are so many vacancies now. So that's why it is becoming difficult to fill all the members in all the state. So that's why no act or proceeding of the appellate tribunal shall be questioned or invalidated merely due to a vacancy or defect in its constitution. It will still remain valid. That's what they meant. The president and members of the appellate tribunal, their qualification, appointment, condition, etc. will be as per the section 110 of the CGST Act. So there they have given qualification, conditions, etc. eligibility criteria that will be followed. Now, what procedure will be followed for by appellate tribunal? Appellate tribunal is not bound by the code of civil procedures, but it will be guided by principles of natural justice. And appellate tribunal shall have the same powers as are vested in the civil court. Whatever power civil court will have, the same powers will have. Sir, what will be that powers? Just for reference sake here, you read it. Summoning and enforcing attendance of any person, requiring discovery and production of documents, receiving evidence on affidavits, and subject to provisions of 123 and 124 of the Indian Evidence Act, requisitioning any public record document, copy of such record or document from any office. From any of the offices, they can gather the information. Issuing commissions for examination of witnesses or documents, and dismissing a representation for default or deciding it ex parte. If any default is there, they can cancel the representation and they can take the decision ex parte. Without hearing the other party, they can take the decision. Setting aside any order of dismissal of representation for default or any order passed it by ex parte. That means whatever orders they have passed, that they can set aside also, or any other matter which has maybe prescribed. Basically, whatever rights civil courts will have, the same rights will be there for appellate tribunal also. Order of appellate tribunal will be enforced in the same manner as if it was a decree by court in a suit pending therein. Like the way a court order will be implemented, similarly tribunal order also will be implemented. Appellate tribunal can send for execution of its order to court within the local limits. Once they have decided the order for its execution, they can send it to the local court also. In case an order is against a company, registered office of the company where it is situated. In case if the GSTT is passing an order against a company, now that order they can send it to the court where that registered office of the company is situated. In case the order is against any person, person concerned voluntarily resides or carries on the business or personally works for gain. If the order is against a person, they will send it to the court where that person is normally residing or he is carrying on the business. All proceedings before appellate tribunal shall be deemed judicial proceedings. Like court proceedings, they will enjoy the equal status and it will be deemed to be a civil court. From July 1, 2024, the IPC, CRPC, Indian Evidence Act have been replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Saksha, respectively, through corresponding amendments are yet to be made in law. That means in the act, we have reference to these acts. But these are acts or names they have changed. That names are changed in the constitution or as per normal laws, as per Indian Penal Code and all. But those changes are not made in the GST Act. See, these days, especially the central government is doing whatever names which are given by foreigners, they want to rename everything. India, they want to convert it to Bharat. This is all happening, no? So name changing very popular. The government is very much popular for name changing. So what they are doing is this Indian Penal Code, Civil Criminal Procedures Code. So like that, these are all foreign names. We have borrowed from the British Act. Now they want to Indianize it. So that's why they are converting it. So IPC they have converted to Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And CRPC has been converted to Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, Indian Evidence Act, Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. Okay. So like that, they have converted the names of the law. That even though they have converted, in the GST they did not make respective amendments. Next amendment will come. They will give next amendment. This will be read as like this. Then that's it. This is what appellate procedures, appellate authority related procedural formalities. Now let us try to proceed further. Now I have told you this mandatory pre-deposit. Now when you are going for appeal, you are required to make a mandatory pre-deposit. Let us say, for example, let us take that case. If you remember the example, whatever I have told, 60,000 you have deposited. 6 lakh is the disputed amount with appellate authority. 60,000 you have deposited, pre-deposit, when you go for appellate authority's order. When you are going for appellate tribunal, you deposited another 50,000. In the example which I used, if you remember it, this example here, when you are going for appeal before appellate authority, 60,000 you have deposited. When you are going for an appeal with the appellate authority, 50,000 you have deposited. Total 1,10,000 you have deposited. No. Let us say in the final order, appellate orders, appellate tribunal's order, the department told that you are not required to pay any amount. You are not required to pay any amount. So now this 1,10,000 will be refunded. No. This 1,10,000 should be refunded. You made a pre-deposit, but the court judgment came in your favor. You are not required to pay any amount. The pre-deposit will be refunded back to you. Now on this refund, will they be required to pay interest? Yes, interest will be required to be paid. At what percentage? 9%. From which date? You will make an application for refund within 60 days from 61st day till the date of payment? No, from the date of deposit. From the date of deposit, here you will get the interest. In case, this is one such favor here they have done. In case if you have made a pre-deposit and if the ultimate judgment came in your favor and that pre-deposit amount is required to be refunded, yes, government will give the refund to it along with interest at the rate of 9% per annum. From which date, sir? From the date of deposit till the date of refund. So now if I talk about interest and refund cases, if you collate all the data, if refund you are getting, if you are getting a refund by submitting GST RFD 01 and you make an application within 60 days, if they are not giving you refund, interest will be payable at the rate of 6% from the 61st day till the date of payment. Second case, if you are getting any refund because of appeal, let us say for example you made an appeal for refund, department rejected it, but you went to the court, court gave a judgment that you are eligible for refund. Now you will make an application for refund after the court judgment. There, if the department is not giving you refund within 60 days, from 61st day, interest at the rate of 9%. I told you in refunds here, refunds, if you refer to that section, interest on delayed refunds, there itself I have told. So I am talking about 3 refunds here. 2 refunds we already know. You are eligible for refund claim. You made an application and within 60 days, if the department did not give you refund, they will refund it with interest from 61st day till the date of payment at the rate of 6%. In case if you are getting a refund because of order of court or tribunal, then also you will make an application from the final order. 61st day, within 60 days they have to grant a refund. If they are not granting refund, interest at the rate of 9% from the 61st day till the date of payment. Third case, if in the court order you have made a pre-deposit, but that pre-deposit is not liable to be paid, if that pre-deposit they are giving it back to you, you will be paying the department will be paying you 9% interest from the date of deposit. 3 cases you have to remember. If you want, you can reopen and check it. Reopen interest on delayed refunds. Go to the refunds chapter. If you find it, help me out with the page number. Did not find it. I will tell you, wait. Come here, 16.18. See, interest on amount refundable consequent to a order passed by PO. PO passed an order and you are eligible for refund. And when refund ordered under 54.5 is not paid within 60 days from the receipt of application under 54.1, interest at the rate of 6% is payable to the applicant for a delay beyond 60 days till the date of refund. Now, another case, if you see, refund on account of refundable or refund consequent to order passed in appeal or further proceeding. Then where refund is arising from a final order of adjudicating or appellate authority is not paid within 60 days from the receipt of consequent application, interest at the rate of 9% will be payable. In case if you are getting a refund of pre-deposit, see here proceeding, what they are saying is this case, this second case is what is, let us say you made a 0 rated supply, you are eligible for refund, you made a refund claim but department is not giving, you went for appeal and in the appeal it was finalized, you are eligible for that refund claim on 0 rated supply. Now you will make an application. Now department should give that refund within 60 days. If they are not giving it, from 61st day they will pay you 9% interest. Now the case which we have discussed is completely different. You have made a pre-deposit. That pre-deposit you are getting it as refund after order of the appellate tribunal. On that pre-deposit they will give you interest at the rate of 9% from the date of deposit till the date of payment. Understood now? All the 3 cases? Right. So help me out with that page number. Let us go back. 23.10. Okay. You'll be able to find that point C there. Where a pre-deposit made under AA or tribunal is refundable pursuant to their order, interest under 56 shall be payable. 56 means 9% shall be payable from the date of payment of the amount till the date of refund, not from the date of that order. From the date of deposit till the date of refund, you will get that amount. Okay, next. Now some procedural formalities. Quickly we'll try to complete it. How many more pages we have here? My throat is drying up. Okay, we'll do. So production of additional evidence before appellate authority or appellate tribunal. See, first adjudicating authority will serve you notice. To them you will produce the evidence. Depending on that, adjudicating authority will give you order. Now let us say, sir, now I have gone for appeal. I have gone for appeal either to appellate authority or appellate tribunal. Can I produce extra evidence which I did not produce before adjudicating authority? At the time PO is taking up 74A proceedings and all, I provided him some evidence, but some evidence I did not provide it to him. Now I want to provide that evidence which was not provided. In my favor, I have some evidence. That evidence I did not provide it before adjudicating authority. Can I produce that extra evidence before appellate authority? Can I produce that extra evidence before this appellate tribunal? Generally no, but some exceptions are there. Generally no. If you have evidence at that point of time, you should have submitted to him only. Now you are coming for appeal and now you are getting extra evidence. Might be you have recreated it. It was not available at that point of time. You might have created it now. That's why you are submitting extra evidence. So appellate authority or appellate tribunal will not accept simply, except in some circumstances. Let us see what are they. Rule 112 of the CGST rules provides that an appellant shall not be allowed to produce any new oral or documentary evidences before appellate authority or tribunal other than that what was produced before adjudicating authority. Or if you are going for appellate tribunal, whatever you have presented before appellate authority, that only you have to present it. Extra no. Exception, however, there are some exceptions. The production of additional evidence before AA or tribunal could be allowed. When, sir? When adjudicating authority or appellate authority has refused to admit that evidence which ought to have been admitted. You submitted to them also, but they are not accepting. Might be they could accept it here. That's why you are submitting. Then they can accept. Where appellant was prevented by sufficient cause from producing evidence which he was called upon to produce by adjudicating authority, or as the case may be, you wanted to provide it, but at that point of time you are prevented from doing it because of unavoidable circumstances. There was a prevention. Because of the, if you are able to show it, if you are able to prove it, sir, I have this evidence at that point of time also, but why I was unable to present it to adjudicating authority or appellate authority is there is some valid and genuine reason, sir. I was prevented, sir. My documents are taken by someone else, sir. I requested him multiple times, sir, but he did not submit it. Intentionally, he did not submit it. He wants to book me in this case. That's why he did not submit. He did not give it to me, sir. Now I got it, sir. I will present it to you. Then they can consider. Where appellant was prevented by sufficient cause from producing before adjudicating authority or AA of any evidence which is relevant to any ground of appeal. So this is for the previous point they told about adjudicating authority. Now they are talking about tribunal. In the previous point they say that when you are going for appeal for appellate authority, you can say, sir, for adjudicating authority because of a reason I am unable to produce it, sir. Now, if you are going for tribunal, you can say, sir, I am unable to produce it to either adjudicating authority or appellate authority, sir, but I have a valid reason. Now, you appellate tribunal, you consider it, sir. Okay. Next. See, B point is talking about evidence to be produced before appellate authority. C point is talking about additional evidence you are producing it for tribunal. Next. Where adjudicating authority or appellate authority has made order appealed against without giving sufficient opportunity to the appellant to adduce evidence relevant to any ground, or that appellate authority or appellate adjudicating authority, they did not give you opportunity only to prove the evidence within a very short span of time. They did not give me time only. That's why I'm unable to produce. So if you are able to prove these points, then they can consider that extra evidence. No additional evidence shall be submitted unless AA or appellate tribunal records in writing the reasons for its admission. If they are accepting the new evidence, they should record in reasons clearly why they are accepting this new evidence. Appellate authority or appellate tribunal shall not take any additional evidence unless adjudicating authority or an officer authorized in this behalf by the said authority has been allowed a reasonable opportunity before they are considering the evidence. Even you have to give an opportunity for adjudicating authority or any of their officers also. What, sir? To examine evidence, document, to cross-examine any witness produced by the appellant. So they will give an opportunity, whatever evidence he is now submitting, that will be given to that adjudicating authority to verify it, or to produce any evidence or witness in rebuttal, or even an opportunity should be given to them. Why this evidence should not be accepted? Why this evidence is a fake evidence? Give opportunity to the adjudicating authority also. The provisions of this rule shall not affect power of AA or appellate tribunal to direct the production of any document or the examination of any witness to enable it to dispose of the appeal. When I say restriction is there, this restriction is only when the person is producing, when the aggrieved person is producing. If that appellate authority or tribunal itself is calling for extra information, or they are calling new witnesses, that they can do it. The restriction only when the person wants to submit extra evidence, then only there is a problem, then only there is restriction. If the appellate authority or appellate tribunal, they themselves are asking for some extra information, they themselves are calling for new witnesses, then there is no restriction, they can do it. Now, appearance by authorized representative. Sir, who can go for, if appellate authority or appellate tribunal, the case is going on with them and they have called me to appear, who can appear, sir? Should I only go? Not required. You can send someone on your behalf also. Who, sir? Your relative, your employee, your advocate, your chart accountant, your cost accountant, your GST practitioner, anybody you can send it. So that's what they say. Any person required or entitled to appear before a GST officer, appellate authority or tribunal. They're not saying High Court, Supreme Court here. Why? Because High Court, Supreme Court only advocate. They will come under judicial proceedings. There you can't say I will send my relative, my driver will come, my employee will come, my CA will come. They will not accept. Advocate only has to go in case of High Court and Supreme Court. So that's why if you are required or entitled to appear before GST officer or appellate authority or tribunal only, may appear through an authorized representative, except where personal appearance for examination on oath is mandated. If it is required that only that person has to examine on oath, you can't send your relative to take the oath. You only have to go for oath. In all other circumstances, you can send your representative. Sir, who can be authorized representative? An authorized representative may be relative. Your relative, your regular employee, your advocate, CA, CMA, CS, GST practitioner, and specified registered or resigned indirect taxes gazetted officers. Retired indirect tax officers also they can do, who should have at least 2 years of experience. Who? This retired or resigned indirect tax gazetted officers. And they may appear, these retired or resignated indirect tax officers also, they may appear only after 1 year from retirement. Or else what will happen? They might have only issued that case. They will only go as a representative. Let us say one GST officer is there here. He passed an order. Okay. Now that order is taken for appeal. So now this fellow is going to the registered person. Hey, I am retired now. However, I have only given the order. No, I will do one thing. I know on what grounds I have given the order. I will go and fight the case for you. I will go as a representative. I gave the order to you. So now I am resigned. I know under what grounds I have given the order. You appoint me as your advocate. No, at one point I have did unfavor to you. Now I will go and fight for you. I know under what grounds I have given that order. I know how to overcome that order also. Tell me, appoint me. 2 ways he is getting benefited. So that's why they will allow that retired or resignated indirect gazetted officers to appear only after 1 year from resignation or retirement. So don't be over smart here. That's why they have kept a provision well in advance. So who can be authorized representative? Tell me here. Relative, regular employee, advocate, CA, CMA, CS, practitioner, retired or resigned indirect tax gazetted officers with a 2 years experience only after 1 year from their retirement. Then, however, even these people also, if they are suffering from some disqualifications, they can't go as authorized representative. Who, sir? If you have been dismissed or removed from government service, like you are a retired or indirect tax officer, you are not retired, people have removed you, you have done something wrong, they are removing you, that person you can't send him as an authorized representative. Who is convicted of an offence connected with any proceedings under CGST, SGST, UTGST Act or under earlier laws of any act passed by state legislature dealing with imposition of taxes on sale of goods, supply of goods or services. That means whoever who wants to send as a legal representative, that person should not have been convicted of supplying the goods, services or CGST laws, SGST laws. He should not have been convicted. Then who is found guilty of misconduct, like chartered accountants, cost accountants. If you have done some violations, professional misconduct, other misconduct, don't send those people, they will not accept. Who has been adjudged as an insolvent. Why insolvent and will go here? It's from somewhere they have to copy. They have copied here. From somewhere they have to copy. They have copied it here. So insolvent person also you can't send. And he shall be qualified to represent any person at all times in case of persons referred to in A, B and C, and for period during which insolvency continues in case of person referred to in D. Uh, so that means till the time that insolvency provisions are continuing, that person is not eligible. At all times in case of persons referred to. At any time you should not act. This A, B, C and all. At any time, if you are convicted, at any time you can't send them as authorized representative. But insolvent person, till the time that insolvency continues, you can't send him. Once insolvency proceedings has come to an end, he will get something called a discharge certificate. You will get something from the court called a discharge certificate. Once he gets that discharge certificate, now you can send him once again as an authorized representative. But first three people, at all times you can't send them. Any person who has been disqualified under the provisions of SGST Act or UTGST Act shall also be disqualified under CGST Act. If you are disqualified under SGST Act or UTGST Act to not act as an authorized representative, you will be automatically disqualified under CGST Act also. Next, financial and administrative powers of President. President shall exercise prescribed financial and administrative powers. What are that powers? No need to mention. Not that president. Which president? President of India. This principal bench will have a president. No, that president. He will have some financial and administrative powers. Now comes the appeal to the High Court. So as I have told, if you are aggrieved by the order of appellate tribunal, then you can go for High Court. But as I have told, only on matters of question of on what matters they can go to High Court? Question of law or question of fact? Only question of law they can approach the High Court. So any aggrieved party, either department or taxpayer, may appeal to High Court against an order of the state benches only. I told, if it is principal bench, directly go to Supreme Court. The High Court shall admit appeal only if it involves a substantial question of law. A substantial question of law means what? It involves an interpretation or application of a legal principle, and it is distinct from a question of fact that is based on evaluation of evidence. Checking evidence is question of fact. Whether law is applicable or not, interpretation involves, that is question of law. Unlike answer to question of facts, which are dependent on particular circumstances or factual situations, answers to question of law are based on legal principles and they can be applied to many situations. As held by Supreme Court in Nazir Muhammad versus J. Kamala, a question of law is substantial if it is debatable. If two people are having different views regarding implication of law, that is a question of law. And it is not settled by law of land binding precedent and has a material bearing on decisions. That means some conflict is there, which is not getting sorted out, because of which differences are coming. That we call it as question of law. Interpretation of exemption notification may constitute a question of law, whereas quantification, what is the exemption amount, that is a question of fact. This example I have already used it. Whether exemption is applicable or not, question of law. If exemption is applicable, what is the amount of exemption, question of fact. Next, sir, time limit for filing appeal. Within what time I can go for appeal to the High Court, sir? Within 180 days from the date on which order appealed against is received by aggrieved person, either department or the tax person. From 180 days of getting that appellate order, within 180 days you can go for High Court. High Court has power to condone the delay. This 180 days of delay they can extend. Then, sir, which form they have to submit, sir? GST APL 08 they have to submit to go for an appeal to the High Court. Decision of the High Court. Once satisfied that a substantial of question of law is involved, High Court shall formulate such question and appeal is heard only on questions so framed. Though court may also consider other substantial questions. You have filed with one question of law. If the court finds additional questions of law, that also they can hear it. High Court shall decide formulated questions of law, deliver a judgment on reasonable grounds, and also it will award the cost, penalties and all also it will award. High Court may decide issues not determined or wrongly determined by state bench of tribunal where such error arises due to a decision on the substantial question of law. That means already decision is passed by the state benches of the tribunal that they can decide. Some issues are not determined by the state benches. Now they can redecide it. Whatever has been missed out by the state benches of the appellate tribunal, that also they can consider it here. Next. Provisions of Code of Civil Procedures relating to appeals of the High Court will apply. That whatever the civil procedures are there, that will become applicable. Appeals should be heard by a bench of not less than 2 judges. In High Court, that appeal should be heard by minimum 2 judges. In case of difference of opinion, what will happen here? One more judge will be placed. Majority you will get it. Pass the order. Next. Full deposit of tax dues is required. Now here comes the twist. For appellate tribunal and appellate authority, only 10% of the disputed amount. If you want to go for High Court, 100%. You have to deposit and then only you can go for appeal. 100% of tax you have to pay, High Court. So full deposit of tax dues is required, failing which stay can be obtained only by invoking the inherent powers of High Court pending disposal. So if you don't pay full deposit of tax, High Court will not entertain unless some special powers are there for the High Court. Using that powers they can stay. But general rule is you have to make 100% full deposit of tax you have to make if you have to go for appeal. Next, appeal to the Supreme Court. See, I have told you, no, they will not talk much about it. Why? Because these are all judicial proceedings. We are reading IDT for CA or CMA final. We are not preparing for LLB. So that's why no need to go into details of this High Court and Supreme Court. Then, an appeal lies to Supreme Court from any judgment or order of High Court where High Court certifies that case is fit for appeal. High Court should say, it should pass a judgment, and it should also say that, okay, even though we have given judgment, it is fit for appeal to the Supreme Court. You get that appeal, you get that fit certificate, then only they will take it up in the Supreme Court. Either suo moto or an application made by aggrieved party immediately after passing that judgment or order. High Court will pass a judgment. After that, either you make a request, sir, you have passed a judgment, but please give us approval to go to Supreme Court, or High Court itself can decide, okay, I have passed judgment, but still Supreme Court you can go. A direct appeal also lies to Supreme Court from orders of principal bench of tribunal. This also we have covered. Provisions of Code of Civil Procedure will become applicable. Yes, Supreme Court may confirm, vary or reverse the judgment of the High Court or tribunal, award cost, and can also remand the matter for fresh consideration. Anything they can do it here. Next, sum dues to be paid notwithstanding appeal. So what is it? Sums dues to the government as a result of an order passed by principal bench or state bench of appellant tribunal or High Court, notwithstanding that appeal has been preferred to High Court or Supreme Court, shall be payable. That's what I have already told. If you are going for an appeal of appellate tribunal to the High Court, so whatever amount that has been decided by the appellate tribunal, even though you are challenging it, full amount you pay, then only you go for appeal. Similarly, if you are challenging an order of High Court with the Supreme Court, maybe you are going for appeal with the Supreme Court, but still whatever amount that has been decided by the High Court, pay it in full, then only you go for appeal to the Supreme Court. Understood? Next. Appeal not to be filed in certain cases. Before that, let us come here. Non-appealable decisions and orders. Section 121 is by registered person. I told you 4 cases already, right, which are not appealable. Those are not appealable by the registered person. The registered person or taxable person can't go for appeal on these 4 matters. What are that 4 matters? No appeal whatsoever can be filed in case of order of commissioner or other authority empowered to direct transfer of proceedings from one officer to another, order pertaining to seizure or retention, order sanctioning prosecution, order passed under 80. On these matters, the registered person can't go for this appeal. Now, even they have put a restriction on the department also. This also I have already covered. Like department can't go for appeals for small amounts. I told you, no. If they want to go for GSTAT, the minimum monetary limit should be 20. If they have to go for High Court, 1 crore. If they have to go for Supreme Court, 2 crores. So for that, they give some background information. In tax dispute, where department is always an opposite party, this section restricts CGST officers from filing appeals in non-complex or low tax matters, while clarifying that non-filing in such cases shall not bar appeals in similar cases. Now some important points. Let us say, for example, I am a seller of this pen. I claimed exemption. I claimed an exemption. Now, appellate authority has told that, okay, this is exempted. Now, department wants to go to appellate GSTAT, they want to go, but my amount is only 5 lakhs. The amount is only 5 lakhs. They can't go to GSTAT. Does that mean by not going to appeal, did the department agree that this is exempted? No. If some other person is there who is selling the same product and the tax amount involved is 10 lakh rupees, can they go for that case to the GSTAT? Yes, they can do it. By not going on appeal, in my case, because amount is low, it doesn't mean they have accepted that this product is exempt. Just they don't have chance for going appeal, that's why they did not go. If the same offense they find it in some other case, but their amount has exceeded, can they go for appeal? Yes. Can the other person argue, hey, for this person you did not go for appeal, that means for this person you have accepted, why are you coming and filing, why are you coming for appeal against me? Can they say it? No. They did not go for appeal in my case. Why? Because the amount is low. In your case, amount is high, they will take for appeal. That if by not taking an appeal, it doesn't mean they have accepted. Department has accepted. It is not nothing like that. for similar circumstances in other cases where required amount is there, they can happily go for appeal. So that's what they say. Non-filing in such cases shall not bar, shall not stop appeals in other similar circumstances. The board may, on council recommendation, issue orders, instructions, directions fixing monetary limits for regulating filing of the appeal. Using that power only, they have fixed that limits. CBIC. Next. Non-filing of appeal, application by GST officer on account of such monetary limits fixed by board shall not preclude such officers from filing appeal or application in any other case involving sale or similar issue. I told it or not just now. Pencil example. Next. No person who is a party in applicant or appeal can contest that CGST officer has acquiesced, that means he has accepted in decision on disputed issue by not filing an appeal or application. Can he say that? Can the other person, whoever is selling the same pencil, he is also enjoying exemption, he got the order from the appellate authority that this is exempt, but that person's amount is 20 lakh rupees. Can he go for GST 80 or not? Yes. Can the other person argue, for this person you have accepted, that means you have accepted that scenario, don't come and file an appeal for me? Can they say it? No. Next. Appellate tribunal or court hearing such appeal or application shall have regard to the circumstances for non-filing of appeal or application by CGST officer on account of monetary limits fixed by the board. So what are that monetary limits? That's what they have told you before, told you here. I have already explained. Now you will get a doubt. Sir, you are saying if the amount is 20 lakh rupees, up to 20 lakh rupees, I should not go to GST 80. If it is 1 crore rupees, then only I have to go to High Court. If it is 2 crore rupees, more than or equal to 2 crore rupees, then only I have to go to Supreme Court. Sir, how to calculate that, sir? What do you mean by monetary limit? What do you mean by monetary limit? Is it only tax amount or is it interest also? Is it penalty also? If I don't have tax and interest, if I have only penalty, then how to calculate that limit, sir? So that they have given the clarification in the next point. So what is the clarification they are giving? Amount to be considered for applying the monetary limits for filing appeal has been explained in the below table in relation to the category of disputes. So how to calculate these limits? They are giving explanation. In case if the dispute pertains to tax, either with penalty or without penalty, either with interest or interest, then aggregate of the amount you have to consider. Aggregate of amount of tax in dispute including CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST, compensation cess. That means whether there is penalty or interest or not, you consider only tax. Tax only you have to consider. Let us say for example the demand order contains only tax, then you consider only tax. But in the demand order, tax 9 lakh rupees is there, interest 1 lakh rupees is there, penalty 2 lakh rupees is there. How much is the which figure has to be considered, sir, for calculating amount? Only consider tax. Only consider tax amount for calculation. Then, sir, in case if the dispute is only for interest, then you consider interest because no tax amount is there. No, if tax amount is there, we should have considered the tax amount. But demand is only for interest, consider only interest. Sir, what if demand is only for penalty? Consider only penalty. Sir, what if it is only late fee? Consider only late fee. Sir, interest, late fee, penalty is there, tax is not there. Then what I should do? Aggregate of interest, penalty, late fee you consider. Sir, refund is there, sir. Case is regarding refund, sir. Amount of refund in the dispute including CGST, SGST. See, and also all the heads you have to combine. CGST, UTGST, IGST combine. Not for each head 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 21 crore like that. All put together. All the heads you have to add it up. Then you have to compare with that limit of 21 crore, 2 crores. Next. Coming to the next point. So monetary limit shall be applied on the disputed amount only, as the case may be, in respect of which appeal or application is contemplated. Let us say you have an order for 10 lakhs, but you are disputing only 6 lakhs. How much you will consider? 6 only you have to consider, not the full amount. In composite order disposing multiple appeals, demand notices, monetary limits apply to total tax, interest, penalty, late fee involved, not to individual appeals. In one appeal, you are including 10 notices. So now will I calculate for each notice 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees? No, I have to calculate for all the notices put together. You are going in appeal. In that appeal, 20 issues are there, 20 notices are there. For all put together, you have to calculate the limit. Then, non-filing of appeal based on above monetary limits shall not preclude the tax officer from filing application in any other case. This point I have already told you here. If in one case you are not taking action because of monetary limit, if the similar circumstances exist in another case where monetary limit has reached, you can happily go for appeal. No one can stop you. Exclusion. Now what? Read it. What they are saying. Monetary limit specified above shall not be applicable in the following circumstances. Which means what? In some circumstances, department can go to GSTAT, or they can go to Supreme Court, or they can go to High Court even if the monetary limit is not reached. Even irrespective of the monetary limit, they can go for appeal to GSTAT, Appellate Tribunal, GSTAT, High Court or Supreme Court. They can go for appeal even though that monetary limit of 10 lakhs, 1 crore, 2 crore is not reached. When, sir? So what are that exclusions, sir? What happened? Did I say something wrong? No, correct only, no? I was wrongly mentioning these limits. Yeah, I realized it. Somewhere I was saying 10, 20, 10. Sorry, my mistake. I was in my subconscious. I am knowing these limits. I am saying it is wrong. The limit is 21, 2. Right. Thank you. Let us see. So monetary limits specified above shall not be applicable in the following circumstances where decision to file appeal shall be taken on merits irrespective of the monetary limit. When, sir? Three things here. First thing, Constitution, supreme law. Act should not override Constitution. Below Act, what we have? Rules. Rules should not override Act. Below rules, we have notifications and circulars. This circular should not override the rules and Act. In case if any judgment was passed by the appellate authorities saying that your act is ultra violating the Constitution, your rules are ultra violating the Act, your circulars are ultra violating the rules, like that, if any judgment has been passed, don't look for the limit, directly go for the appeal to the GSTAT, High Court or Supreme Court. They are challenging the constitutional validity, then don't check for the limit, go for an appeal. That is what the first 3 points, where provisions of the GST law has been held to be ultra vires, Act is ultra vires the Constitution, or any rules or regulations made thereunder have been held to be ultra vires to the parent Act, rules are overriding the Act, or where any order, notification, instruction or circular issued by the government or the board has been held to be ultra vires to the Act or rules. So that means if they are challenging the validity of the Act, rules, orders or circulation, go for appeal irrespective of the amount. Next, and also where the matter which you want to go for appeal is related to valuation of goods or services, is it relation to classification, or it is related to refunds, or it is related to place of supply, or any other issue, this point is next slide, which is recurring in nature. It is not one time event, it is recurring in nature. It involves interpretation of provisions of the Act, rules, notification, circulars, etc. That means you have to go to the next level of higher authority. Why? Because it is not a one time event. This event will have a continuing effect. Then also you can go for appeal. Next, where strictures or adverse comments have been passed and or cost has been imposed against government or department, prestige issue now. Appellate authority has given adverse comments, negative comments on the department, and also they have imposed some cost. You pay the penalty, you incur the charges. Now prestige issue has come. How come they are saying bad words about us? Bad words means not scolding and all. Some strict statements they will pass on. Along with that, some cost has also imposed on the department. So it is a prestige issue now. Don't check for monetary amount. Go to the next level of authority, GSTAT, Appellate, GSTAT, High Court or Supreme Court, or any other case, class of cases where it is necessary to contest in the justice of revenue, interest of justice or revenue. So justice is losing here if we don't go for appeal, or revenue, government's revenue is losing here if you don't go for appeal. If you find any strong stance, then also go there. Always they will use this only here. If we don't go for appeal, amount is not there, amount is less, but if we don't go for appeal, government will lose the revenue. Let us go to the next level of appeal, they will say. Using this provision, they always will go for appeals. Okay, so these exclusions, please try to remember it. Limits also you remember, these exclusions also you remember, how to calculate that limits also you remember, what and all will be considered for the purpose of calculation, that also you have to remember it. Okay, next, this anyhow we are done, non-appealable decisions and orders. So successfully we have completed appeals and revision. So practically speaking, this should be most confusing, but I think you will not face the trouble now when it comes to this logical flow of the concept, right? So that's all. Shall we do questions? I'm basically exhausted today. Just let me see how many are there. Theory questions only here. Even if I don't explain also, no problem here. Direct theory questions. 1, 2, theory question. 21 we have. 4, 5. Pre-deposit regarding questions are there. Mostly theory questions are only there. No issue. One is regarding pre-deposit. On pre-deposit we have many questions. Confiscation related question has come here. Question number 11 is relating to confiscation. 12 is theory, 13 is theory. We'll do tomorrow, yeah. I don't have energy now. We'll do tomorrow, no issue. Hardly it will take somewhere around 30 to 40 minutes. We can complete it. Thereafter, advanced ruling. Thereafter, miscellaneous. Tomorrow will be the last live session. Okay, so please do come. If one person also at least come. So we will have a session tomorrow. Why? Because these days I don't know why exams are near and all. That's why people are not coming. Why? Theory means they will not come. Practical only they will come. Okay, so we are all done with the practical concept. No, that's why they are not coming, since they are theory topics and all. Okay, fine. But these are also important. And trust me, if they have not listened to the refunds chapter, they will not understand. They will not understand. Gone only. Choice. 89 subsection 4, 89 subsection 5. Never they will be never they will be able to understand. Then offenses. Offenses. No chance at all. Zero. This one. This is also gone case. Appeals also gone case only. If they haven't heard these classes or lectures, 3 chapters complete gone case, including demands and recovery also. That 74A and all there also. When which penalty, when how much penalty. So if but these are favorite areas for the examiner. What to do? Previously they used to ignore it, but from these areas they are focusing more. Whatever we leave, there only question we will ask. So like that they have become. But whatever it is, we are done. Tomorrow we'll do advanced ruling. As you could see, very small chapter, limited discussion only we'll have here. And then we have some miscellaneous, limited discussion, very small discussion we are going to have. So if we no, I will not estimate the time. If I estimate the time, it will not happen. Okay, so tomorrow we'll complete. That's for sure. We will complete tomorrow. If at all 1-2 chapters question bank is pending, that I will keep it on hold and I will upload that chapters question bank thing and all. Yeah, so tomorrow will be the live session, last live session. Please do join. Right, see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay. We'll start now. So in the previous session, we have successfully completed the conceptual understanding of appeals and revision. So a quick recap we will do. Thereafter we will solve the question bank. Once we solve the question bank, we'll pick up advanced ruling, and thereafter miscellaneous provisions. With that, discussion will come to an end. Right. So first, if we have a quick recap of what and all we have covered, like whenever adjudicating authority has been given their order, if you are not happy with that order, there are 2 options actually. One is you can go for appeal. Other thing is there is something called revision. So after adjudicating authority has passed their orders, first there is an option for going appeal. Who can go for appeal, sir? Department can go or the aggrieved person can go. So if a registered person is going for an appeal, we have seen the time limit within 3 months he has to go for appeal. 1 month condonation delay will be there. If the department wants to go for appeal, they have to go for appeal within 6 months. For them also 1 month condonation delay will be there. Thereafter, some procedural formalities will be there whenever you are required to go for appeal. Like you can submit your file, you can submit your appeal electronically or manually. What is the date of filing of the appeal? That is very important. If you are uploading it on a common portal, if you are uploading the order on the common portal, immediately date of provisional acknowledgement will be issued. Thereafter, final acknowledgement will be issued. But whatever it is, date of provisional acknowledgement itself will consider as date of filing of appeal. In case if the order is not uploaded on the portal, then you will be given 7 days of time to submit the self-certified copy. If you are doing it within 7 days, then date of provisional acknowledgement. If you are not doing it within 7 days, the date of submission of the statements will be considered as date of filing of the appeal. And so this is what appellate authority. Sir, who will be that appellate authority? Joint Commissioner Appeals or Commissioner Appeals. So these 2 will be the appellate authorities. Now even the same thing will become applicable for department also. But difference between department and aggrieved person is, if the aggrieved person has to go for appeal, he has to make a pre-deposit. First you have to pay all your admitted tax, liability, penalty, interest, late fee, everything you have to pay, and 10% of your disputed tax you are required to pay. In case if you are challenging the order for penalty, 10% of the penalty you will be required to pay. So you make that pre-deposit, then you can make an appeal. So then in between we have seen one option called revisional provisions. So what actually is a revisional authority is, if adjudicating authority has passed an order, another jurisdictional officer, they can pick up this order and do the revision. However, there are some orders which you can't do revision. See, whatever orders which for against which you can't go for appeal, for same orders even revision is also not possible. Like order passed by the commissioner regarding transferring the proceedings from one officer to another officer, or order for seizure, order for payment in installments. One more thing is there. What is one more thing? Order sanctioning prosecution. So these orders are not appealable. When these orders are not appealable, even these orders can't be taken up for revision also. And also, if any issue, if any order has already been appealed, against that also revisional authority will lose its power. But however, there are some issues which are neither appeared or which are neither decided by the appeal, that can be taken up for revision, but you have to do it within 1 year from the date of appellate order or 3 years from the date of original order, whichever is later. We have done one illustration also yesterday. So how to calculate the time limit. And similarly, you can't initiate revision proceedings unless and until the 6 months expire from the adjudicating order. Why I told you that limit of 6 months is also applicable? Because there is a provision for going for appeal. So that's why you have to wait for 6 months, and within 3 years you are required to do it. Then, so this revisional authority's order also you wanted to challenge. Yes, you can challenge it. So appellate authority's order and revisional authority's order. If you want to challenge it, you have to go for appeal. You have to go for appellate tribunal. GSTAT you have to go. So there we have seen some things like a GSTAT, its constitution. There will be 2 benches. Principal bench will be there, state bench will be there. Principal bench will hear cases only on place of supply, anti-profiteering, or any other things which are notified. State bench will hear all the cases. And this constitution, like in principal bench, there will be a president, there will be judicial member, 2 technical members will be there. In case of state benches, there will be 2 judicial members, 2 technical members. And when a single bench forum can hear the cases, what if there is a difference of opinion? So all that provisions we have covered. And even when you are going for appeal to the appellate tribunal also, if you are an aggrieved person making this appeal, you have to pay all your admitted tax liabilities. Along with that, even here also you are required to make a pre-deposit. 10% pre-deposit you will be required to do. Now regarding this pre-deposit point, I have told you one important point. If after this appeals and all comes to an end, if you are not required to pay, if the judgment comes in your favor, whatever pre-deposit that you have made, that you will get refund along with interest at the rate of 9% starting from date of deposit. From the date of deposit till the date that amount is given back to you, till that time 9% interest will be paid back to you. So thereafter we have seen, if in case if you are affected, in case if you are not happy with the appellate tribunal's order also, you can go for high court. But however, if the principal bench has heard the case in appellate tribunal, you can directly go to Supreme Court also. So like that, next higher appellate forum will be High Court or Supreme Court. So like that we have seen the entire process yesterday. So now what we will try to do is, we will try to, and one more point to recollect here. In case if the department wants to go for appeal, they have set one monetary limit. So where if you want to go before GSTAT, 20 lakh rupees, High Court 1 crore, Supreme Court 2 crores. Sir, what amounts have to be considered? In case if the dispute relates to tax with or without penalty, consider the aggregate amount of tax only. If it is interest only, interest. If it is penalty only, penalty. If it is late fee only, only late fee. If it is interest, penalty, late fee without involving tax, consider aggregate amount of interest, penalty and late fee. If it is erroneous refund, amount of refund. However, this limit will not become applicable in certain circumstances. That means even without any limit, you can go for appeal. Department can go for appeal to the GSTAT or Supreme Court or High Court. When the judgment says that the act is ultra vires in the Constitution, or rules are ultra vires the act, or notifications and notifications, circulars, etc. are overriding the rules and act. Similarly, if the matter related to valuation of goods or services, refunds, place of supply, or any other issue which is having a repetitive effect, which involves interpretation of provision of act and which is recurring in nature. And also, if there are any adverse comments passed against the department and costs have been incurred by the department, then also they can go for appeal. And in the public interest or in the interest of justice or revenue also, they can go without paying attention to that limits. That's all here. This is a major discussion. Whatever we had in the previous session, we'll try to quickly do now. Appeals, very simple questions will be there. But here in this answers, I will be asking you to make changes at various places. Why? Because there was amendments. Previously, we read that penalty 10% point. No, even if you are challenging an order for appeal where only penalty is there, there also you are required to make pre-deposit. That was an amendment. Even if you find it in the concept note also, that I have given it to you in green color. This is what I was referring to. Mainly the question will come from pre-deposit only. So this point is there, no? So whenever you are challenging the order which is containing only penalty, they have to make a pre-deposit equal to 10%. Previously this was 20%. Previously, it used to be 20%. And even this limits also used to be higher. Now we have 20, 40. Previously, they used to say 25, and those things used to be there. But now they have streamlined. So that mostly the question will be from here only. And there are some old MTP RTP questions are there. According to the old provision suggested answer, you will be able to find it. We have to answer now. In case if they ask the question now, we have to answer it as per this rules only. And this is an amendment. This amendment is given for May 26. In the supplementary material, they have given it, this amendment. So that's why even in the study material questions also, even in the study material, whatever test your knowledge questions are there, they also will contain old provisions only. We have to change it as per the supplementary material amendment, right? So if you come here, does CGST law provide for any appeal to a person aggrieved by an order or decision passed against him by an adjudicating authority under the CGST Act? Explain the related provisions under the Act. Did the Act give you power to go for appeal, challenge it? Yes. So if any adjudicating authority order or decision is there, we can challenge it. So we can go to the appellate tribunal. We can go to the appellate authority first. Within how many months? Within 3 months. That entire provision you are required to write here. Up to 1 month, you have to make a pre-deposit, and also this one. However, no appeal shall be filed before AA against an order under 129(3). That means penalty. Unless a sum equal to 25%, not 25%, it is also 10% only. As I have told, the things have changed now. So here also it is 10%. You have to pay 10% and then you can go for appeal. Next. However, no appeal can be filed against the following orders. So this also we have seen against which appeals we can't follow the orders. Next. Describe the provisions relating to departmental appeal to appellate authority. Straightforward question only. Can the department also go for appeal? Yes. Within 6 months, 1 month condonation delay, no pre-deposit, all the procedures will be same, so that you can write it. With reference to 107.6 and 112.8, specify the amount of mandatory pre-deposit which should be made along with every appeal made before the appellate authority and appellate tribunal. So this we have already seen, no? How much you are required to pay? In case of going for appellate authority, same. Full amount of admitted tax and amount equal to 10% of remaining amount of tax, subject to maximum of 20 or 40. However, no appeal shall be filed against an order under 129(3). That means in case of penalty order, unless a sum equal to 25%, not 25%. How much it is now? 10%. Even for penalty orders also 10%. If you pay, it will be enough. Same thing will be set under 112(8) for appellate tribunal. There also you make that change. Here also the amount is 10% in case if they have given it. They have not added that. Here also, if at all you are going for appeal only for penalty, there also 10% only, right? Next. With reference to section 108, elaborate whether a CGST or SGST authority can revise an order passed by subordinates. Revisional authority. Can they do it? Yes, they can do it. So regarding that, once again a straightforward question. So that you have to write. And also, revisional authority shall not revise. In which circumstances they should not revise and all, we have already covered the direct theory question. The appellate tribunal has a discretion to refuse to admit any appeal. Explain the correctness. Can they refuse any appeal? No. What did we say in case of appellate tribunal, where the amount tax or ITC involved or refund involved does not exceeding 50,000 rupees, then they can reduce such appeals. Not every appeal they have a power to refuse. Next. In an order dated 28th of August, issued to GHP Limited, the Joint Commissioner of CGST has confirmed IGST demand of 280 crores. The company is disputing the entire demand of IGST and wants to know the amount of pre-deposit. It has to make under IGST Act for filing an appeal before the appellate authority against the order of the Joint Commissioner. Tell me how much they are required to deposit. What is the disputed amount? Total 280, 10%. 10% will be how much? 28 crores. Subject to a maximum of 40, because it is IGST, subject to a maximum of 40. So 28 only you have to deposit. Next. Assuming that appellate authority also confirms the order of joint commissioner and the company wants to file an appeal before the appellate tribunal, then also they are required to make a deposit? Yes. How much deposit? Same, 10%. 28 crores only will come here. So 2 times. Sir, I have already made a deposit at the time of appellate authority. Should I do it once again for appellate tribunal? Yes, you are required to do it. Next. With reference to provisions of section 121, specify the orders against which no appeals can be filed. Straight away, theory question, 4 orders against which you can't go for appeal. Next. Mr. A has filed an appeal before appellate tribunal against an order of the appellate authority where the issue involved relates to place of supply. He has gone to appellate tribunal where the issue involved is place of supply. Which bench will hear this case? Principal bench or state bench? Principal bench. Why? Because place of supply, anti-profiteering, and any other specific things which are intimated to them, notified by the government. The order of the appellate tribunal is also in favor of the department. Mr. A now wants to file an appeal against a decision of the appellate tribunal, as he feels that stand taken by him is correct. You are required to advise him suitably with regard to filing an appeal before the appellate forum. Which will be the appellate forum here? Supreme Court, not High Court. So that's what they say here. In case order is passed by state bench of the tribunal, you have to go to High Court. However, if it is passed by principal bench, you have to go to Supreme Court, not High Court. Next. With reference to provisions of section 120, list the cases in which appeal is not to be filed and also specify other relevant provisions. See, this is regarding monetary limits here. In which cases they can't go for appeal. So some monetary limits are there. No, that monetary limits you have to write it here. The board may, on the recommendations of issue, they can fix the monetary limits. And when they're not filing, it doesn't mean that the board has precluded that officer. That means they have accepted that officers, accepted that judgment. They can't file it in other cases also, not like that. So they are given all that points. Add one more point also, write that limits also. Right, what are that monetary limits also. So if it is GST 80, 20 lakhs. If it is High Court, 1 crore. If it is Supreme Court, 2 crores. Just write that monetary limits also. Now, let us come to MTP RTP past exam questions. The appellate authority passed an order against Venue Automobiles Private Limited demanding IGST of 1200 crores. Venue Automobiles Private Limited wishes to file an appeal against the order of the appellate authority. He wants to go for appellate tribunal. The company admits the liability of 100 crores but wishes to litigate the balance demand amount and thus files an appeal to the appellate tribunal. You are required to determine the amount of pre-deposit. Tell me your total pre-deposit, how much is required to be paid before I go for appeal? First one, 100% of the admitted liability you have to pay. That means that 100 crores you have to pay. Then disputed amount is how much? 1100 crores. In that, 10%. So 10% will come to how much? 110 crores. But there is a maximum limit. What is the maximum limit? 40. So you will not pay 110. Subject to a maximum of 40 crores only you will deposit. So 100 plus 40, total 140 crores you will deposit. That's short. The same thing they will try to say it here. Next. Bajaj Electronics Private Limited of Chennai, Tamil Nadu handed over certain goods to transporter Superfast Roadways on 15th of December 2024 to be delivered to Anna Electronics in Vellore, Tamil Nadu, amounting to 3 lakh rupees. The said goods were chargeable to tax at the rate of 18%. The proper officer intercepted the vehicle under section 68 of the CGST Act in transit and he is seizing the goods on 16th of December 2024. Section number 68, the proper officer can intercept the vehicle, do the verification, and he can take that goods or conveyance into custody. Then which penalty provisions will come? 129 will come. So if you want to release the goods, you are required to pay some penalty. Owner come forwards, penalty. If the owner does not come forward, then there is different penalty. And if you want to release the conveyance, then also penalty is there. Now what is the question is, no one came forward to release the consignment. So clearly they have told owner did not come forward till 31st of December 2024. So the proper officer issued a penalty order 129.3 of the CGST Act. Bajaj Electronics Private Limited did not admit the entire penalty amount specified in the order and hence filed an appeal. So he has issued a penalty order, then they have gone for appeal. Okay. From the above information, calculate what will be the amount of pre-deposit for filing the appeal to AA. They're asking you to calculate the pre-deposit. Now this is a penalty order. To calculate, we know that in case of penalty order, 10% of penalty you have to pre-deposit. Now in order to know that pre-deposit amount, first we should know penalty. First we should know penalty. See, they have given a combined question. Appeals and offences, both they have combined. So how to calculate the penalty? 129.3 we have seen. If the owner does not come forward, what is the amount of penalty? 50% of the value of the goods. What is 50% of the value of the goods? Value of the goods is 3 lakh rupees here. Value of the goods is 3 lakh rupees here. 3 lakhs into 50%, which will come to 1,50,000. And 200% of the tax payable. So 3 lakh rupees into 9% if you take, how much it is? 27,000. 27,000 into 2, how much? 54,000. Whichever is higher. Since it is CGST, SGST, 1,50,000 we will take. This is only under CGST heading, equal amount under SGST also. So total amount of penalty which will be charged, how much? 3 lakh. 1,50,000 under CGST, 1,50,000 under SGST. Now this amount you are not accepting. This you wanted to go for appeal. If you wanted to go for appeal, how much deposit you are required to make? 10%. So on this 3 lakh rupees, 10%. That means 30,000. 30,000 you are required to make a pre-deposit, or even you can write it as 15,000 under CGST, 15,000 under SGST. That much amount of pre-deposit you will be required to make. But here in the answer, I told you it is an amendment is there. Prior to this amendment, they used to have an order of 25% of the penalty amount, but now it is how much? 10%. Change it, 10%. So when I do that 10%, so on total 1,50,000 they are taking it as total amount. Yes, total 1 lakh. Okay, CGST, SGST heading wise they are taking it. So correct only. So 1,50,000 rupees into 10%, which will come to 15,000. 15,000 under CGST, 15,000 under SGST. Next, let us proceed further. What else we have? The amount to be paid by super fast foods were release of its conveyance under 129. For releasing the conveyance, 1 lakh rupees or penalty whatever we have calculated, whichever is lower. So penalty how much we have calculated? We have calculated 3 lakh rupees is the total penalty. Or if you consider only CGST, 1,50,000 or 1 lakh, whichever is lower. So 1 lakh plus 1 lakh, total 2 lakh rupees you will be liable to pay in order to release your vehicle. So combined question, appeals and offences, both they have combined and given a comprehensive question. Please do mark it. Please do refer this question before you go for exam. Important question, comprehensive question. Next, question number 12. So what is question number 12? Generally, appellant is not allowed to produce any additional evidence at the appeal stage. Examine this statement with reference to Rule 112 of the CGST rules and discuss in brief the provisions relating to production of additional evidences. We have seen one heading, no? Whatever evidences which you did not produce before adjudicating authority or appellate authority, that you can produce it at the time when you have gone for appeal, but only in certain cases, like when he did not give you the opportunity, that evidence was not available at that point of time and this was not considered. So like that, if you have some valid reasons and all, then you can then that appellate authority can admit it, but while admitting they have to record the reasons in writing. So directly theory question, you can read it. Next. Okay, so Homesite Traders, a registered person, received an order passed by the adjudicating authority on 23rd of Jan. The said order was duly communicated to Homesite Traders on the very same day. Date of communication of order is 23rd. Aggrieved by the order, Om Shanti Traders filed an appeal with the appellate authority on 16th of February. During the appeal proceedings, a competent court issued an order staying the proceedings before the appellate authority for a period commencing from 1st of May to 30th of June. So before based on the above information, determine the last day by which appellate authority can pass its order. What is the advisory time limit for authority to give the order? 1 year. We have 1 year from the date of filing of appeal. So when the appeal has been filed on 16th of February, 1 year, that means 16th of February 2025. But they are adding extra information in between. There was some stay from the court. From 1st May 2024 till 30th of June, there was a stay. How many days of stay is there? 61 days of stay is there. So now that 61 days should be excluded while calculating the time limit. So usual 1 year will end on 16th of February 2025. But in that duration, that stay period, you have to exclude it. So how many days of stay we have? 61 days of stay we have. So add that 61 days to the due date. Add that 61 days. So if you do it, you will get April 18. April 18 as the date maximum advisory time limit within which this appellate authority can pass their order, appellate order. Next. Right, let us see it. See, this is one thing which is related to customs. This is based on one case law related to customs, but I will tell you here whatever is relevant. Later we will see later. Flourish sales imports were being provisionally assessed. So there was a provisional assessment. We have seen in the assessment and audit chapter that you can go for provisional assessment. So flourish sales imports were being provisionally assessed pending a verification that the department was carrying out. Upon completion of the verification, the final assessment order was released and flourish sales was asked to pay 12 lakhs, which it paid also. You went for provisional assessment. Thereafter, final assessment order has come. So now in the final assessment, or even if you keep it aside, under customs, when you are importing the goods, under provisionally you release, thereafter final assessment amount they will say. So finally they have asked you to pay 12 lakh rupees and you paid it also. Then after 6 months, upon detailed scrutiny of the verification report and after taking legal opinion on it, Flourish Sales filed a claim for refund of 8 lakh rupees on the ground that differential amount should be 4 lakhs only, and there were factual errors in the verification report. Was this correct mode of redressal by the Flourish Sales? They placed an assessment order. So if they placed an assessment, or if the final assessment order has come, they will have it. The correct way is you should have verified it and you have gone for appeal. And under customs, that appeal limit is 60 days. Under GST, the time limit for appeal is 3 months. Within 3 months, you should have gone for appeal, and thereafter, after you have gone for appeal within 3 months, then you should have challenged it and you should have fought for it. Now, what you are doing after 6 months, you are realizing time limit for filing an appeal is over. Now you can't simply cover up your mistakes by filing a refund claim. This fellow is acting smart. So what he is doing, he should have gone for appeal. He should have checked that order properly within the time limit. He should have challenged it by going for appeal. But instead of going for appeal, what he is doing, now he is claiming a refund. So there is a there is a factual error in my audit report, in my assessment report. I am eligible for refund. Please give me refund. No, it is not possible. You can't cover up your mistakes by making a refund claim. Your time limit for appeal is over. So that's what they say. But even if you read the answer, some things will change here. I will tell you why. Flourish Sales received an order finalizing provisional assessment on the basis of a verification report and requiring payment of 12 lakhs. They did not contest this order. They did not challenge it, but made the payment and allowed the appeal period of 60 days to lapse. Sir, what is the 60 days? We have 3 months. No, I told you, under customs, we have 60 days of appeal period. After appeal became time barred, they filed a claim for refund in which they challenged the order. So through refund, can I challenge the order? No. This was a backdoor method of seeking relief against the order. It also asked an officer of the same rank to review the order passed and all. So this is assumption, and is sought to bypass the time limit for appeal by presenting the appeal as a claim for refund. So ultimate summary is you are trying to bypass the time limit by filing it as a refund claim. So the Supreme Court, the same kind of judgment has come in Blue Industries Limited, Priya Blue Industries Limited and Supreme Court. There the judgment has been given that such a refund claim is not permissible for all these reasons. A person who is agreed with an assessment order cannot seek refund without filing an appeal. That judgment has been given in this case, and that is what it will become applicable here. So overall summary here is, in case final assessment order has come, if you did not challenge it and the time limit got expired, you can't cover it up by way of filing a refund claim. Simple as it. So this is what taken from this case law of Priya Blue Industries Limited and Supreme Court. Next, now we have one more question. Let us see exam question. Kareem Associates was issued show cause notice under section 74 of the CGST Act by the adjudicating authority. In the final order dated 30th of August issued to Kareem Associates, the additional commissioner of Central Tax Appeals, that is Appellate Authority, confirmed the tax demand of 60 lakh rupees and demand on account of penalty of equal amount. So 60 lakh rupees tax, 60 lakh rupees penalty, and interest amounting to 16 lakhs was also confirmed. So what is appellate order saying? Sorry, not appellate order, adjudicating authority only. They did not go for appeal, adjudicating authority only. So adjudicating authority passed an order. What is the amount? Tax 60 lakhs, penalty also equal amount 60 lakhs, interest is how much? 16 lakhs. However, the revisional authority, using the powers under section 108 of the CGST Act, on its own motion called for the records and found that order passed by AA is erroneous. So revisional authority has taken it up, and they found that adjudicating authority passed a wrong order insofar as it is prejudicial to the interest of the revenue and enhanced the tax demand to 70, equal amount of penalty, and interest amounting to 20. So they have enhanced, revisional authority has enhanced how much? Tax 70, penalty 70, interest 20. Now what happened? The supplier admitted tax demand of 20 lakh rupees. So 50 lakh, this much demand they have given. Out of that, he is admitting the tax liability of how much? He admitted 20 lakh rupees. Interest 5 lakhs also he is admitting. Penalty 20 lakh rupees also he is admitting. And deposited the admitted tax, interest and penalty on 30th of November. So he admitted that amount, 20 lakhs tax, 20 lakhs penalty, 5 lakhs interest. So total 25 lakh rupees of 45 lakh rupees of admitted amount he has paid. And For the balance amount, the supplier decided to file an appeal and appointed a chartered accountant for this purpose. So for what is the balance amount he wants to go for appeal? Tell me here. He wants to go for an appeal for tax 50. 20 he admitted, no. Penalty 50. Interest 15. Why? Because 5 lakh rupees of interest he is admitting. So this is what the disputed amount for which he wants to go for appeal. Then what happened? So the appeal was filed with the necessary pre-deposit of the amount, and the same was decided in favor of Karim Associates on 28th of February. So he made a pre-deposit, and ultimately what has happened? The judgment got in his favor. Ultimately the judgment was in his favor. Now from all these facts, what is the question? The application for refund of pre-deposit was made on 1st of March 2025 and refund was granted on 14th of March. Now on the basis of above facts, first one, the appellate authority to which Karim Associates would be required to file the appeal. Tell me here. He got a revisional authority order that he wants to challenge. What is the appellate forum here? GST, appellate tribunal. Can he go for appellate authority? No. Revisional authority order can be challenged in appellate tribunal. Okay, one question we have answered. He has to go for appellate tribunal. Good. The amount of pre-deposit required to be deposited along with the above appeal. Admitted tax liability, penalty, interest 45 he will pay. He is also required to deposit 10% of the disputed tax amount only. So he is having disputed amount of tax 50, penalty 50, interest 15. 10% on what he will pay? On the total disputed amount or disputed tax? Only on the tax amount only he is required to calculate. I told you, no, 10% of the disputed tax only. So 50 lakh rupees on the 10%. How much? 5 crores. So 45 admitted liability plus 5 crores in the nature of that pre-deposit. So total how much he will pay? 50. Don't say limit of 40 will become applicable here. Limit is only for the 10%. 10% of the tax amount subject to a maximum of 20 or 40 in case of IGST. So but here admitted liability you should not restrict. Whatever you are admitting, that much you have to pay. Guys, able to get the point what I am trying to say here? So total how much? Okay, 50, yeah, 50 into 5 lakhs. Okay, in the order, in the answer it is wrong or what? 20%. Once again, this was a amendment. This was an amendment, not 20% of the remaining amount. So are they saying CGST, SGST? They did not mention anywhere. Okay, under section 74 of the CGST Act. So if you take the CGST Act, so that is 10% of disputed tax. That means double the amount will be there. CGST, SGST, both you have to combine. No. So that's why they have taken 20%. So why this 20% is both they have given amount only under CGST Act, but you have to consider CGST as well as SGST Act. So that's why 20%. So if you take 20%, 50 lakhs into 20%, so 45 admitted tax liability. In that 45, along with that 10 lakh rupees also. Now you should get a doubt here. Sir, if they have admitted, if they're saying everything is that 20 also should be considered as only CGST. If you are considering this amount is inclusive of CGST, only CGST, then whatever amount you have paid, you have accepted and paid, no, that should also be taken as only CGST. But there we did not take that assumption. So here, do one thing. So don't take it as 20%, take it as 10% only. Take it as 10% only. 10% of the remaining amount in dispute only you are required to file it. Why? Because contradictory is there here. So when you are considering total 50 is only CGST, then even this also should have been doubled. That pre-deposit amount also, that admitted tax liability also should have been doubled. So but they are doing adjustment at only one place. So you do one thing, you do it only 10%. So amount of pre-deposit will be how much? 55 lakhs. Understood? Clear and comfortable? Next. Not 55. How much you will get? 45 only, no? 45 plus 5, 50. 50. So please make the change here. 45 plus 5, 50. 50 lakh rupees you are required to make a pre-deposit. Next one. Then compute the amount of interest payable on refund of such pre-deposit under section 115 of the CGST Act. Interest here, finally he won the case, no. That pre-deposit he will get it as a refund, no. So how much amount he will get it as a refund? Whatever pre-deposit he has made. When he made the pre-deposit, they are saying he made the pre-deposit on 30th of November 2024. When he was refunded 14th of March. From the date of deposit till the date of refund, you will be paid interest or not? Yes, you will be paid interest. At the rate of what? 9%. So here also the amount of pre-deposit is 5 lakh rupees only, no, not 20%. 5 lakhs you have to consider. So 5 lakh rupees of pre-deposit into 9% into 104 divided by 365. This you have to do by 2. 25,643.84 divided by 2 you have to do. Right. Next. Then the amount of pre-deposit required, assuming if the appeal is to be filed against the orders of appellate authority with original demand, and after considering the same amount of payment of admitted demand deposit on 30th of November. What they are saying? If the appeal is filed against appellate authority with the original demand. So now what they are saying is, if you wanted to challenge this main adjudicating authority's order, this main adjudicating authority, 60 lakh rupees is there, no, that only you want to challenge, then how much you will be required to make a pre-deposit? You are admitting anyhow 20 and balance is 40. On that 40 lakhs only 10%. So 40 lakhs into 10%, 4 lakhs you will be required to make a deposit. See, here they have told 4% only. In this case, appeal should be filed to appellate authority and the amount of pre-deposit required is full amount of admitted tax 45. On the balance 40 lakh rupees, 10%, which will come to 4 lakh rupees only. 45 plus 4, 49 only you are required to do. So how come they have given here 10%? I'm unable to understand it here. Might be prior to amendment. This might be there was some prior issue, 20%. So whatever it is, here also 10% only you take, because as per the provisions whatever we have discussed, only 10%. Next. Then thereafter, let us go to the next question. Right. Let us do this. In an appeal filed with High Court by Pratik Limited on the question whether activity undertaken by Pratik Limited amounts to supply, the appeal was decided in favor of Pratik. The amount of tax penalty interest involved were IGST of 1.2 crore instead of 60 lakh rupees, interest of 60 lakh rupees, penalty of 50 lakh rupees. However, the department does not agree with the order and they wanted to pass by the High Court and contends that said activity amounts to supply. The department wants to file an appeal before Supreme Court. Can they do it or not? Tell me. Can they do it or not? Can they go for appeal against this order to the Supreme Court? 2 crores limit we have. Is the 2 crore limit exceeded? No. How to calculate that monetary limit? What did I say? When the order is for tax along with penalty and or interest, take only tax amount. So what is the only tax amount? 1.2 crore within the limit of 2 crore rupees. Can they go for appeal to the Supreme Court? No, they can't go for appeal to the Supreme Court. You are required to examine whether appeal can be filed by the department in the given case. No. Will your answer change in case matter is related to valuation of services instead of determining whether said activity amounts to supply? Can they go for valuation of services? See the exceptions when monetary limit will not become applicable. When monetary limit will not become applicable, see in the material, not in the question bank. There are certain issues where they have told valuation of goods or services, classification of goods or services. So now they are saying valuation. They wanted to go for valuation, assuming that it is having a recurring effect. They can go for appeal. In that case, they can overcome that limit and they can go for appeal. But there should be an assumption. It should be of recurring nature. Next. Then let us see. This you can do here. Whether Miss Meena is aggrieved by the order passed by the Assistant Commissioner and wants to file an appeal with the Commissioner. Her accountant, who looked after the GST related matters, including filing of GST returns or other compliances online, is on leave for 1 month. So she decides to file the appeal manually. She wanted to file that GST APL 01 manually. Can she do it? Yes, but only when it is notified by Commissioner, and order copy you don't have to upload it on the common portal. The order against which appeal is to be filed is available on the common portal. There was no such notification also issued by the Commissioner. So can she do that appeal manually? No, compulsorily electronically only. So whether Miss Meena can file an appeal to the Commissioner appeals in this case? No, she can't do it manually. She can do it electronically, but she can't do it manually. So whether decision taken by Miss Meena to manually file an appeal is valid? Definitely not. She can't. Next. Mr. Pappu is aggrieved by the order of revisional authority and wants to make an appeal to the first appellate authority. Is it valid? Revisional authority, he want to challenge with the appellate authority. Can he do it? No. Revisional authority directly go to appellate tribunal. While commenting on the decision of Mr. Pappu, you are also required to state the powers of the revisional authority to revise the orders passed by subordinate officers under section 108. What is the time limit for revisional authority to exercise the power? Everything you write about that revisional authority, and finally write the conclusion also. He has to go for second level of appeal. He has to go for tribunal, not the first level of authority, first level of appellate authority, which is appellate authority. And also they are asking you to write about revisional authority, it powers, time limit and all. Just write the theory part. Next. In an order passed, this is homework here. I think you can do this as a homework. Similar question we have solved it. So once again they are asking you to calculate what will be the pre-deposit, what will be the interest, and in the answer they will give you that 20%. Previously it could be have 20%, that you change it to 10% penalty amount you change, and you can do that calculation part. We can do that calculation part. And also one more thing, previously they used to maximum go up to 100 crores. Now we have 20 or 40. Previously that limit used to be maximum up to 100. That also you have to change it. Just apply the provision whatever we have read and you calculate it. These are all some old rules. Before amendment they have given answer. According to the current provision you calculate it. Next. Under what circumstances revisional authority cannot exercise? Direct question, no. Against the orders which are not appealable. Next. Thereafter, this is also a question regarding pre-deposit only here. This is also a question regarding pre-deposit only. This also you do it. This is also a homework. Here also one change you have to make in the answer. 10% of the remaining dispute arising from the impunged order subject to a maximum of 20 or 40. Old limits are 25. Now it is maximum 20 or 40. However, it is well within the limits only. Remaining all will remain the same. That calculation of pre-deposit, interest and all will remain the same. This also you try it out. Right. That's all. Appeals and revisions related discussion, concept notes, question bank, everything we have covered it. So now what we will do, we'll go to the next chapter, which is advance ruling. Very simple chapter. Hardly half an hour it will take. We'll try to finish it off.